So we have a few announcements tonight. They're all pretty cool. So first of all, a fan of the show called Dude drew some fan art of the party, and Connor should be bringing it up on screen now.
Dude.
It's on screen.
It's on screen.
I did my job.
Excellent.
Yes, I had it loaded up.
So great.
It's amazing. I love this so much.
Yeah, so it's a nice little sort of cartoony graphic of the whole party, including Daru, looking good there. So thanks very much for making that, Dude. And if you do like this, you can follow Dude on Instagram, and it's just interdimensional space whale. That's all one word. And he tells me does sketches
What
on a day.
name.
One sketch a day that takes him 5 minutes, and he uploads that. So it's all pretty cool stuff on there. It's quite cool looking. So thanks for that. And next up, for announcement wise, Connor has one that he wants to share that is also art related. So
Yes, this is extremely cool and a great honor as well. We've been waiting a while to speak about this, but essentially, Tyler Walpole, who is a published Magic the Gathering artist, he's illustrated quite a few cards, including Wilderness Reclamation, which I will never forgive him for. But he's been watching the show, which is amazing in itself, but he is actually going to be doing our official character arts at some time in the coming month, and he's doing his own thing. It's going to be in his awesome comic style from his new comic, and we're going to be showing that off to you guys. More details probably in a week or two, but yeah, we'll be showing you everything that he's doing, and he's going to be doing art for our characters. And I honestly, like, I've been doing content and stuff for a long time, but this is one of the coolest things, like, without shadow of a doubt. Like, anyone who watches my Magic streams knows how much I love the Magic artists. So, it's so cool. I love it. Yeah.
Thanks very much, Tyler. It was kind of overwhelming when we found out, so that's so cool. Thanks very much.
Yeah, and we'll have full details of all of his work and what he's up to probably next week or the week after. Well, 2 weeks' time, actually, because, yeah, Craig, we're not live next week. Look at that segue. There we go.
Yeah. Yes, unfortunately, next week there will be no episode of Guildgates and Goblins, just due to a few people being absent. However, this will give us the first opportunity to show off a new show, a bonus show that we work on off stream. So it's Guildgates and Goblins versus the Yawning Portal. So for those of you who don't know what that is, the Yawning Portal is basically a book Wizards of the Coast released that's essentially a collection of one-shot style dungeons, but we're making some changes to it and essentially turning it into its own campaign, but it's still sticking to sort of the true essence of, like, it's very dungeon delvey and traditional D&D. So it will still be Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. However, Connor will be DMing instead of me, and I will be playing. So it features all of us initially, except Justin and Alias, who unfortunately couldn't make the first session, but they will be brought in for future episodes. And it won't be streamed, unfortunately, but it will be uploaded onto YouTube, and that'll be next weekend. So make sure to subscribe to Merchant if you haven't already, so you can check that out when it gets up.
Checks in the mail.
2 weeks in a row, I've got you to do the like and subscribe.
You didn't even have to ask for that one. I just wrote that one in. All right. Okay, so I think that about covers it for announcements. So, last session, the Society of Courage headed out to the Rubble Belt on the trail of Milton Proctor, the person seemingly responsible for the attack on the festival and the capture of Master Embert. After meeting up with a Gruul contact, a female elf named Ayla, the party scouted out the camp of Clan Skyer, a Gruul clan Milton had seemingly been working with. After overlooking the camp and speaking with Ayla, things did not seem to be right in Clan Skyer. From what Ayla told them, it appeared Milton had arrived with an entourage and somehow convinced the clan chief to hand over control of the clan to Milton. The members of the clan were put to work mining in a cave close by to their camp. Unfortunately, there didn't seem to be an easy way into this cave, as it was very heavily guarded. Ayla suggested to the party that they go with her and seek out Clan Pelska, another Gruul clan in the Rubble Belt that were long-standing enemies of Clan Skyer. So, once the party arrived at Clan Pelska's camp, they met with their leader, a minotaur named War Speaker Gorehorn, who said he was more than willing to launch an attack on Clan Skyer and cause a distraction for the party so they could get into the mines. But first, he wanted them to go to an old abandoned church in the Rubble Belt and clear it out for him. The party set off, and after finding it haunted by some sort of wraith, they engaged it in combat where, sadly, Reg Two Scars was slain. However,
don't melee banshees, guys.
However, after seemingly destroying the wraith's form, some part of her seemed to remain a small ball of light, which fled down a set of stairs in the main hall of the church. So, we now join the party moments after the confrontation. What would you all like to do?
Unsurprisingly, I'd like to run over to Reg because I think I'm right next to him, and see.
I think we're all right next to him.
What's going on with Reg if he's still going.
Sure thing. So you make your way over to Reg's body, but as you get closer, you can more or less see that he does not look healthy in the slightest. His skin is dried out and stretched across his bones. His face is locked in a grimace, and touching his skin, it feels cold to the touch. There seems to be no sign of life.
And that was before the Banshee hit me.
Sarah sees this, and I see this, and knowing that there's basically no coming back from this, she just lets out a frustrated roar into nothing, just like, yeah.
Sure. Okay.
But Kara, there's got to be something you can do, right? I mean, do your thing. This is what you do, right? Do it.
Yeah, there's a limit to how well I can deal with injury. This is far past it.
I don't even think the angels could help us here, to be honest.
There's
I'll lean
nothing
down, check for a pulse.
There is no pulse. Definitely no pulse. And as you guys are talking, Mr. Nibbles on the far side of the church slowly pads over and begins to lick at Reg's face, and Reg's head moves with each lick, but no signs of life return, and gradually Mr. Nibbles begins to fade away. Small motes of dust drift off him, and a radiant light seems to emanate out from him before he seems to be carried away on a wind.
Good boy, Mr. Nibbles. I take off my Boros cloak, and I'm going to cover Reg for the time being.
Sure.
I'm just going to collapse onto the ground, onto my knees.
Okay.
Kind of stare at the floor.
Okay. So I would say, around this point, Kosh, you hear a voice in your ear. Or in your mind, rather. A familiar voice. Talora, what do you say?
I hold the stone tightly, and I go, Kosh, where are you guys?
We're in an abandoned church at the end of the road for the Gruul. Reg is down.
Okay, so we'll jump to Talora now, who's actually a little bit, just about 50 or 60 meters away from the church. You're Talora at basically the base of a muddy path that you've been sort of following because you knew the party head here, and now you're standing in front of this large stone church with a kind of a doorway on your left-hand side, as well as a few breaks in the wall.
Could I have heard like stuff coming from that direction?
You would have heard a large roar a few moments ago.
Okay. But based on what I heard and what he told me, I assume this is probably where they are. So I'm going to walk up to the church and kind of look into the door to see what's in there.
So you make your way towards the church, and after peering through the rubble off it and around the doorway, you can see the party all kind of hunched down and on their knees before a form that's lying still on the ground.
I kind of like slowly saunter in. I don't really say much. I kind of just slowly walk in.
Sure. So I would say as Talora is kind of walking toward, you can all kind of hear the scuff of her feet across the stone floor, and you kind of turn around and notice her approach.
I think I'm sulking, so I don't really say hi.
Same.
Welcome back to Laura. You've come at a very upsetting time.
I just wish I had been sooner. Again. I kind of just like sigh. I'm really annoyed and like upset with myself for not obviously being there sooner.
Not your fault.
But
Aseres, does the Legion have some sort of etiquette when a comrade falls in battle? Do you bury them nearby, or do you take them back to their garrison?
Usually it depends on the situation. Reg, I think, would not really mind So if we just buried him and paid our respects, I can go to Razia's vigil once we're done out here and let them know what happened.
I've read about warriors' burials in the past, things like that, different types. Would Reg have had a preference? Some people have like pyres, solemns. He deserves whatever we can give him. You would have probably known him best, Aceres.
Well, and as long as you guys did, barring Rassix Vicaru. We can bury him nearby. Give him a warrior's burial. But before we do that, I want to kill that thing. It went downstairs. I want to kill it.
What did you guys even fight?
Floating bitch.
Yeah, it was this woman that Vicaru tried to bribe, and then he tried to reason with her, and he did it in completely the wrong order, I know from experience. And yeah, I don't think there was anything he could have done. He tried, but she seemed like a spirit of some sort. I don't really know much about it.
Yes, you don't know much about it. I work with spirits. I tried what I know.
All right,
If we have an electrical issue, I'll call you.
Guys, this isn't the time. Not after Reg.
No.
Series is right. We should go deal with whatever's down there.
Agreed.
You guys have healing potions.
I do.
I don't think I've ever once bought a healing potion.
Fine. I'll grab mine and give it to Kosh. Please drink it. Don't die. Let's go kill this thing.
That's very kind of you, Aceres. I will store it for the time being. I will not drink it.
Okie doke. So, are you guys all making your way down this kind of staircase? It's sort of in the back center of the kind of main hall of the church, and it's just this long set of stone steps that lead down into some sort of darkness. There's no light.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm just going, like, making sure everyone's fine. Cool. You're all healthy. You're not gonna die. Sweet. Let's go. Let's go kill this thing.
I'll follow Aceres.
Yep.
Is anyone producing any sort of source of light?
I was gonna say I'm gonna use the produce flame cantrip.
All right,
just,
okay.
I have a
It's
flame
a
in
small
my
mote
hands
of flame in
now.
your hand, isn't it? And Cost, you say you want to turn on the griff, the griff,
Yeah.
the drift bulb.
Roof
Yeah.
log, what's that?
Yeah,
Sounds
Okay.
great.
The light kind of appears next to me.
cool. All right.
Sitting
So
above my shoulder.
Craig,
yes.
as we're heading towards like the staircase to go downstairs, I still have the stone in my hand. I kind of take a glance at it, kind of like solemnly, because technically Reg gave me that stone, so it's like the only thing I get to like remember Reg by. I'm a little sad, and then I just kind of put it away in my pocket.
Okay. All right. So you guys make your way down the staircase into what is actually a slightly small crypt. There's 6 sarcophaguses, like stone sarcophagus. That's a hard word to say.
Sarcophagi.
Sarcophagi that you can see
Thank-
lining sort of the bottom of the chamber, and they're all sort of spaced out kind of symmetrically, and they don't seem to have any kind of ornate carvings on them. Just on the lid of each of them is the Orzhov sun symbol that's been carved into the rock. However, towards the back of the chamber, you can see there's almost this ethereal blue light flickering behind a part of the wall where it looks like some of the brickwork has collapsed down and kind of exposed this area where there's sort of like supports that have fallen out of place, and seems to lead into another chamber that may have at one point been sealed off.
Vicaru, anything in here we shouldn't touch?
Well, depending on how long this has been abandoned and how decayed everything is, it's possible that some of the typical protections either have worn away or weren't around during this time. I'm not entirely sure.
Well, the worm coming through here would have disturbed the crypts, sarcophagi, correct?
Probably. And hopefully that would have dealt with any countermeasures that anyone in the syndicate would have put in place.
All right, let's take a
Hopefully.
look around.
You should keep an eye out just in case.
I want to go take a look at wherever there's things to look into.
Sure. So yeah, the only other thing of kind of note is this other chamber that seems to be off of this main one and it looks like it's been exposed. There's no sign of a door that would lead into it. The walls essentially collapsed.
Okay.
And revealed this other chamber.
All right, let's
there.
Yeah, let's go there.
Okay, are you all going, or is it just Azarius?
I'll go.
I'm following the large angry man.
Yeah, I'm definitely following Darius.
Okay, sure.
Keep your guard up.
So you guys walk into this other stone chamber. It's much smaller than the one you just came in from. It's probably about 10 foot by 5 foot, so you all kind of have to squeeze in. And the only thing that's in it is just this single stone coffin, essentially. And you can see the part of the lid is kind of partially collapsed in from where it looks like some rocks from the ceiling might have fallen in on top of it. And a partially mummified body is kind of revealed in the light. And there's this small blue flickering just over the chest of the body laying. However, as one of you Azarius, you were in the lead, weren't you?
Yeah.
As you stepped into the room, your foot has scuffed along a book and kind of kicked it to the far end of the chamber. That kind of scrapes along the ground.
I get that book.
You go over to the... Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. So...
What is this book?
Okay, so you kind of pick up the tome, and as you do, several pages fall out and just turn to dust in your hand. Looking at it, the leather is very worn. There seems to be some sort of gold leaf lettering that once was on it, but it is essentially faded and rotted away. There's no sign of a name either on the front of the book or the spine. Do you want to open it and see if you can read anything?
Yeah, very carefully.
Okay.
Don't let it go.
Sure. So you very, very gently open the book and try and read some of the writing, but a lot of it is just some sort of arcane runes that you can't really make out, or just in a very, very old style of language that you can't initially decipher.
I show it to the Orzhov guy. Vikaru, what is this?
Do I recognize anything about it?
Why don't you make a history check for me, Vikaru?
I also look at it.
Okay, you can look at it as well, Kosh, but it just makes no sense to you as well. Only Vikaru, I think, would be able to kind of decipher what this book might say.
I got a 5.
You
Okay.
skip history classes. Tisk tisk.
Okay. So, Vikaru, you start to kind of look through the book and very carefully turn pages, things like that, but so many of the words are either in an old style language or a language that may have just been lost to history. The only passages you do decipher, the only phrase you can make out is one that says, abhorrent false gods, and then another partially destroyed passage that begins, return the, and then it's NEP, and then the page just ends before it can finish. So do you want me to say that again? Abhorrent false gods and return the, and then it's NEP. And that looks like a word. It's not N.E.
Right.
Can I try something, Vikaru, just for a second? I don't know if this will work. I just want to try something on the book.
Sure. I'll
I
hand
will
him the book, I guess.
I will cast Mending on the book.
Okay. So you cast Mend on the book, and several of the pages begin to return and fill out, but no words or ink covers the returning parchment in the book. It's just blank where the words cut off.
Damn.
Nep,
All right.
Nephilim, Nep. Anyone else know any Nep words? Nepotism? That's that.
Return the nepotism.
Return the nepotism. No.
Well, Asarius, now that you say that, I do. The thing is, I have a religion, not history. So I was like, but from my knowledge of religion, I do know that in the long past of Ravnica, there were beings called Nephilim, but I heard they've been gone for supposedly way longer than this place. Although, didn't pay as much attention during that time.
So what do we do here, or can I just go and hit the thing?
Well, even if let's say it is return the Nephilim, we wouldn't be able to do that anyway. So, sure.
What are we looking for? Sorry, I've never encountered a Nephilim. So what are we looking at?
I'm fairly certain there's nothing we can do about that. If that indeed is correct, which it could be, it could not be, not like we would be able to do anything about that. So if you want to just hit,
I'm hitting it.
or
I'm
something,
gonna go towards the thing, and I'm gonna like just get closer. And
I thought you meant you were punching the book for a second.
no, I'm not gonna punch the
Damn
book.
books.
I'm gonna punch the floating light that killed you.
Okay, so I will say, Azares, you stand over the partially opened coffin.
Yeah,
And
I'm
as you
looking
look
at it.
down to take a swing, you see this kind of mote of light that's floating just kind of over the chest of the body. But you can see the figure is clutching some sort of object in their hands, just
What is that?
raised on their chest. You
Oh,
want
I
to
hate dead bodies. Oh, where's my pokey
I'll
stick?
walk over and
Who's got a pokey stick?
You have javelins, don't
I
you?
don't want to. I do have a javelin. I'm going to take one of my javelins and like try and pry it to see what it is.
Okay,
from her cold dead hands.
Yeah.
sure. So I would say you jimmy her hands, which are kind of mostly turned to dust by this point, and they kind of fall apart. And as they do, this kind of handle with kind of this metal hilt or metal blade, it looks like a dagger of some sort, just kind of rolls off her body and kind of clangs onto the base of the sarcophagus.
Oh shit. I don't want to. Oh god.
Come on, I say, just pick it up. Just get your hands in there.
Ugh. Gross. What is this?
Okay, so taking a look at the dagger, it seems to be made of, or the grip of it seems to be made of wood, but it's pretty rotten at this point, and it's kind of partially collapsing in your hands as you kind of grasp it. The bottom of the grip has a carving of what looks to be a spider done into it, and with kind of 8 legs that branch off it. But as you kind of look closely, they start to kind of crumble a little bit. And the blade itself of the dagger is slightly curved and comes to a point. But the metal looks quite dull and rusted. It looks very old. There doesn't seem to be anything. It just looks like an old rusty dagger with kind of this interesting little spider carving in it.
Gosh. You know that magic thing you do? Could you?
Oh yeah, I can do that.
Could you?
We're gonna need to take a second though.
That's fine. I'm going to put the thingy down somewhere else that's not in my hand.
Okay. So did you just hand that dagger to Kosh?
Yeah. I'll just give it to him.
Sure. So I take it, Kosh, are you just going to cast Detect Magic?
Actually, I'm gonna cast Identify just so I know what it is more specifically, just like if it's anything. Also, do I recognize this symbol on it?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah,
no.
just Identify. 10 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. So, Azares.
So how
moat
much?
is just floating there still?
Sorry, what was that, Vicari?
The moat is just floating there still?
Moving this dagger does it seem to have disturbed this, what you imagine to be the soul of the being in any way?
Does anyone know how to speak to floating ball things? Because, yeah, I don't know.
The thing is, it was probably disturbed when this giant cave-in happened, so I'm not sure if there's any way we can really get rid of it unless we put this back to rest, but I'm not sure if that's a thing we can do.
How much, like the roof or the lid is like caved in and crumbled,
Just
right?
kind of the upper half of it. You can see kind of down to where you'd imagine the body's waist.
If I took a peek inside, is there anything else of interest
Sure,
in
so
there,
you
barring
kind
a
of
dead body?
Lean down and kind of try and peek further down to the shadows.
Yeah.
Make a perception check, I guess, to kind of see.
That's 13.
13.
Yeah.
Peer into the shadows, and with some of the light reflecting off the kind of mote of light Razix has in Kosh's drift globe, you can pretty much see the base of the sarcophagus where her feet would be, and there doesn't seem to be anything of interest down there.
All right. Anything else in this crypt catching my eye? I want to have a look around on the walls.
I was going to say, is there anything else in the room?
Sure, Talora, make an investigation check, and you can have advantage, seeing as I assume it's a small room, everyone's kind of looking around, so...
Yeah.
I rolled 2 2s. I have a 4.
I'm afraid nothing catches your eye. You're still a little bit distracted.
Can I just not roll again today, please?
Is it possible to look for like a name on the sarcophagus or any of the sarcophagi in the room before?
Sure. So if you want to, well, first, I'll tell you what, it doesn't require a skill check. Bending down and looking at kind of the bottom of the side of the sarcophagus, the one that this kind of mote of light is in, you can kind of make out the name Fiona, and that's Fiona, Ermin. Her faith in the old ways guides us all, is what it reads. But there's no date of birth or date of death or anything like that.
And there's for sure Orzhov iconography here.
Not in this room, in the one previously. In the other...
Does the architecture of this room, like the general wall architecture, match the architecture of the room we just came from?
Not quite. It looks much more rotten and crumbling.
Interesting. I will explain that information to my comrades,
Sure.
as I'm not sure what to do with it. It appears that this room is older than the rest, so potentially... That's what you said, right? It's like more crumbly?
Yes. This room is definitely older by quite a significant amount.
So
Hard to get beat on
potentially,
for a few years.
the Orzhov decided to install their church on top of a much older church. Maybe that's why they're angry, but there's not really anything we could do about that.
I was going to say, are you suggesting to knock down a church?
I'll do it.
It's already mostly knocked down.
You know, I like blowing things up as much as the next guy, but I don't know about that.
We just set it on fire and be done with it.
It's made of stone.
No, like the corpse and this glowy ball thing that's not going anywhere.
I mean, the glowy ball thing's not going to go anywhere just because we set this place on fire.
I mean,
never know.
I mean, is that really our objective right now? Is this weird ball anyway?
That's what I'm thinking.
Like, it was here before we were here, and it's still gonna stay here. it
Oh
looks
no,
like.
we saw the ghost lady turn into a ball and then float downstairs, right?
This is what killed Rich, and I point at the stupid ball thing.
But is there anything we can do with this?
I don't know. I'm used to hitting things, not dealing with.
Can you turn it into
Can
a
I-
mushroom or something so we can?
Can I touch the ball?
Ray6, you can just
it's
decompose the body.
It's within the chest of the body. It's not like floating above it. It's like with.
Oh, it's in it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry.
can I-
Yeah. Oh well,
Can
yeah.
I
No,
still touch
this
it?
is
You want to touch the body?
yes.
Sure. Okay.
roll for disease.
Oh dear God.
I mean, we gotta do something.
Roll for dysentery.
incident.
Okay. Dolores, you sort of lean in and just kind of press your finger onto what would be the kind of bandages or the mummified part of the body, and your finger just basically just pushes right through this rotting cloth and then through the dust of what once was this woman's flesh, and just kind of goes right through. And it leaves this large hole in her body. But you don't feel anything apart from your finger just being in a centuries-old body.
It's invasive.
Disgusting. All right, Rezix, can you decompose this body or something? Maybe we can give it a proper rest.
Has the identify spell finished?
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
a good point. Well, let's just say
Detect magic.
you do not detect any sort of magical residue on the dagger or anywhere within the kind of 30 feet of you others from the drift globe. And I would probably say you can sense you're probably directly below where Reg's body is, so you can probably work out that you can feel the bow that you had
Wait.
giving off the faint glow.
Okay. Just as a heads up, I don't think for in the future, I don't think identify gives me that radius. I think identify is only what I'm holding.
All right, okay, I thought it was the 30-foot one. Oh no, identify is just a single object.
Yeah, identify is
Yeah.
just whatever I'm holding. Yeah,
So
it's all
you're thinking
good.
to detect magic.
My
Yeah,
bad.
all good. I do both. It changes sometimes.
Good thing there's nothing else there then, eh?
Okay, this is nothing, and I just throw it on the other side of the room.
Okay.
Didn't you say that the person's name here is Fiona or something?
Fiona Ermin. I'm
Can
gonna
we
go get
just-
the knife that he just threw and just keep it with me.
Okay.
It's just a rusty knife. Look, can we just put this thing to rest, give it a proper burial, fix its sarcophagi, read it a spooky story? I could care less about it. Reg is sitting upstairs
I want to set it on fire.
on the stone floor.
I whip out a torch and I'm going to attempt to kindle it or something and just set it on
Okay,
fire.
yeah, you've got a tinder box and your torches, and you eventually get one going and place it onto the body, and the dry dusty body essentially just suddenly engulfs in flames, and it burns very, very quickly. And all of a sudden, you see this kind of blue light flash out into the flames, and the flames begin to glow bright blue before they suddenly fade away. And there's just kind of this acrid smoke drifts out, and the body is gone, and the blue light is gone. It seems to have dealt with whatever that was.
Curse you wench. All right. Well, nothing attempted to kill us, which is good. Let's go.
I walk back upstairs.
Sure.
Let's go get Reg.
Okay, so you all make your way back out of the spooky crypt and return back up to the central portion of the old church. And there, undisturbed, is Reg's body.
I am going to take his stuff. So I'll add it to my inventory.
Okay, so do you want to essentially go through Reg and just take everything that's on him? Or is that... Okay, all right, give me a second.
Well, like if it's personal stuff, then
At least leave him in his clothes. Come on now.
no,
Okay.
I'm gonna leave his clothes on. God,
Okay,
guys.
do you leave the armor and his weapons as well?
Yeah, his armor and his weapons.
Okay.
Maybe I don't know.
Well,
Does
I'll tell you
anyone?
what,
Okay, I don't know about the bow because I don't know. I don't know that the bow is magic, right?
I don't think
No,
Kosh.
I haven't told anyone, but I am gonna ask, and I can just do it now if
Right.
you prefer. Nah, Kosh wouldn't. Never mind. I'll later. Go ahead, Greg. Sorry.
Okay. So the only things that seem to that Reg might want to keep on him, there's a Boros insignia, and there's a small angelic feather that you quite readily recognize as a feather from an angel. There seems to be some sort of tattered Boros banner that he keeps in his backpack. You find his belt pouch and a little sack in his backpack that contains some sort of amount of coins. There's, as well as that, various survival equipment, a crowbar, a hammer, climbing equipment, some torches, a tinderbox, some food.
I'll take the utility stuff.
Okay, so you also find 2 healing potions,
Yeah.
a potion of fire breathing.
Yeah, hell yeah, give me that.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Bunch of weird arrows. That's right.
Yes, there's also a quiver of just regular arrows, and also stored within that, there are 4 arrows that all seem to have a various different arrowheads.
Well, Reg would be using this stuff, so if you guys want anything, barring his personal effects, speak now or forever hold your peace.
Well,
Otherwise,
We can always decide later.
Yeah, let's let's talk about this later. I'd rather just bury Reg for now and
alright.
give him the send off he deserves.
Yes, I'm gonna gently pick him up. He's still wrapped in my cloak, so it's gonna stay with him.
Sure.
Let's go find a nice spot outside. And we'll carry him and go outside.
Okay. So you guys head back outside, and as you were kind of making your way here, you remember a spot that's probably about a minute or so walkouts, because remember the ground here is kind of dead or dying around the church, but you've actually kind of passed from that into the kind of lush greenery of the forest again, and you remember there's sort of a small river that kind of runs by. There's a large tree that sits next to it, and you feel like it would be a good spot maybe to bury him just kind of at the base of this tree. It's sort of a peaceful little glade, if you'd like.
This looks
Seems
as good
of
as
a
any.
place. Yeah.
Okay.
Alright.
I assume we all assist in burying him.
Sure. So, just out of my curiosity, how are you guys digging the hole? Does anyone have a shovel or anything like that? I don't think any of you do.
Just use my body. Throw me in the trash.
The only thing I have is an herbalism kit, and I'm not sure what that is.
It doesn't have a shovel in it. Oh,
Damn.
I'll tell you that one.
Can your magic hand, Vicari, can that dig?
I mean, it can dig like
Real
10
slow.
pounds at a time. What do I have in my explorer's pack? I have.
I might be able to like throw water on it to make it like muddier.
I'll just dig. It's fine. I'm a big, strong barbarian. I'll
Okay.
dig the hole.
All right. So,
Wait, there was a graveyard there. I will found a shovel. That's rot. Never mind. I'll
Yeah,
dig
do
the
you-
hole.
okay. So,
Would I
sorry, go ahead, Razix.
would I know how to properly prepare a body for burial?
I wouldn't say that's something Razix has done.
Okay.
At least not in that traditional sense.
No.
Not in a way that you may feel surface dwellers might be more comfortable with.
Sure.
As the series kind of finishes up, I will undo the cloak and I'll say to Asarius, just so she knows what I'm doing. Reg was my friend, a new one, but somebody I trusted greatly, and this bow meant a lot to Reg. And if it's all the same to you guys, I'd like to continue his legacy with it.
I'm sure he would have been proud that you had it. It's fine by me.
And I'll go ahead and sling it over my shoulder like I saw Reg do.
Okay, sure thing.
All right. I will lay Reg
Okay.
down.
So you lay
and,
him down into the grave you've dug.
I'll put the angel feather on his chest and then cover him
Okay.
in soil.
Okay, so you guys all quietly watch on as Ares slowly but surely covers Reg with the ground she's dug up before eventually there's a small mound covering his body.
All right, Reg.
All right.
All right.
That's lovely.
Hmm.
Okay.
All right. Let's. Yeah.
It feels like there should be something here. And I'll take out my dagger that I've pretty much never used. And I'll stick it into the ground
Sure.
where he is.
Okay. It sticks into the ground.
What time of day is it, Craig?
Yeah, I would say by now the sun is setting and it's quite getting late in the evening. But remember the Gruul camp that you came from? It's only about 2 hours walk away if you guys want to make your way back there.
I mean, we're gonna have to keep going. We might as well just camp here and make our way to where we gotta go in the morning. There's no sense in trekking back and then trekking forward, right?
Don't we just need
No,
to
no,
go
we-
back to the camp?
We need to get back to the camp and then.
Or
Yeah.
don't we have to deal with that worm?
No,
Are
no.
you kidding? No, that worm would destroy us.
No.
No.
That would
I-
eat us for breakfast.
Sorry, I was
No,
told
see,
that there was a problem. I'm sorry. I
the
didn't-
worm pissed off the people in the chapel. And
Oh.
yes, so I believe we have dealt with that problem. So let's
Okay, let's head back then.
head back to the camp.
Okay. So, you guys set off, and after about 2 hours walking, you guys make your way back, remember, past the tower that had collapsed, and get back on sort of the main road, or the dirt track, essentially, that kind of branches through the roll belt around here. And you make your way back to the camp, and as you get close, you can see this torchlight illuminating the walls surrounding it, and you can hear kind of quite loud voices and laughter and talking. There seems to be some sort of activity and maybe a celebration of some sort within the camp. But the gates are currently closed.
Well, I guess we walk up to the gate and try and get in.
Okay. So do you just hammer on the gate to...
Yeah.
Okay. Essentially, the gate is pulled back and you're greeted with the face of a goblin, and he says, "Who you lot? What are you doing out of this time?"
We are the individuals who assisted your chief.
Oh, all right, come in. And he kind of pulls back the gate and gestures for you all to enter.
Is Gorhorn available?
Yeah, just go to his tent. You know the way, do you?
Yeah.
What's happening here, by the way?
Well, we're getting ready for war.
Oh, good.
Huh.
Okay.
Come on, let's go.
The goblin shuts
Seems
the...
that it's worked.
Yeah, we were busy this past week or past day.
Okay, all right. So the goblin shuts the gates behind you as you guys all kind of file in, and you begin to make your way through the camp. And yeah, looking around, you can see several clan members are kind of gathered around fires. They're all chatting and nodding along with each other. There's a few kind of drinking and yelling and kind of boasting about their martial prowess. You can see several sort of sharpening swords and patching leather armor, and there's a few larger figures kind of moving from tent to tent as there's kind of this real feel of activity and excitement and energy to the place, until you guys gradually make your way out to the front of the tent of War Speaker Gorhorn, and you can see he's standing there, arms folded, kind of looking out onto the camp, and he's kind of nodding and talking with people alongside him.
Gorhorn? I approach him.
You're back. How did you fare?
Could have gone better.
How so? Did you not succeed?
Well, we succeeded, but I suppose you were right in not sending your men. We lost one of our own.
Well, it's sometimes the case that comrades fall in battle. Which one did you lose?
Rich.
The goblin.
Wily one.
Goblin. He gave me a fine gift when you visited the first time. His passing is sad. But nonetheless, tomorrow is a new day. And I'm pleased to say we will be going to attack Clan Skyer.
Sure looks like it. And I look around the camp, kind of all
Yes.
rustling and bustling.
The clan members are most eager for war, and I am only too eager to give it to them. It's been a long time since our last true battle, mostly raids and skirmishes. So, during the battle tomorrow, none of you will be taking part in the actual fighting. I understand you need into the mines. At least that's what Ayla has told me.
Mm-hmm.
That's correct.
Now, she has volunteered to escort you to a place where you can essentially keep a watch and wait for us to launch the attack, or she said you can make your way on your own back to a cliff you overlook the camp from, and you can essentially you follow a small path along there and get to the mines. It's up to you if you want to meet her or not. Regardless, when we attack, hopefully that draws enough of them out of the mines for you to make your entry.
That's
Sounds
greatly
good.
appreciated. Thank you. Do you know where Ayla is? Is she in the camp?
She'll be here in the morning.
Okay.
Come back here and she will talk to you then, I assume.
All right.
But nonetheless, feel free to find a place by a fire anywhere, or camp outside in the rubble belt if that is what you so desire. But you are welcome in here for this evening.
Thank you for that. Oh,
Yes.
I had a quick question.
Sure. Are you asking me or
I'm asking Gorhorn.
Okay.
Curiosity got the better of me. Does the name Fiona Erman ring any bells to you?
Nothing.
All right. Seems that was your problem at the cathedral, or the chapel thing.
Well, I don't like to deal with that sort of supernatural business.
Neither do we. All right. Well, we shall see you in the morning then. Let's go.
Be well. Okay. So you guys kind of step off back into the camp. So what would you like to do? You can see there's a few fireplaces, or not fireplaces, fire pits kind of set up where there's looks to be quite a lot of kind of raucous behavior going on. People are kind of like play fighting and wrestling, as well as others drinking quite heavily. There's a
Yes,
few
where is the drinking?
Sure. So you guys can see there's kind of a large fire where there's several kind of clan members gathered around, and they seem to be passing out tankards between them, and they're drinking and kind of laughing. And if you guys want to go over and join them.
Yeah, I'm just going to beeline for the closest alcohol.
Okay, sure. Are you all going with those areas, or would any of you like to find a quieter spot? Are you all going drinking with a Gruul?
I would like to actually walk outside the camp and kind of just like sit down amongst the trees just out there.
Okay, sure.
I probably would follow Kosh, but I wouldn't sit that close to him. not for any reason other than I assume he's looking for a solemn moment. I'm also looking for the same, so I would follow him out, but we would diverge.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. So Laura, Razix, what would you two like to do?
I'll accompany Azaries, I guess.
Okay, and Razix?
Yeah, I'm a little twisted at the moment. Not sure if I'm sad
I imagine you sitting like in the middle going,
or not, but I'll accompany his areas as well.
All right, okay. All right, so Kosh, Mikaru, you guys make your way to the kind of outer gates and essentially ask to be let out so you can kind of find a quiet place. So you both kind of head off. Is there anything like to say to each other before you kind of part ways, or?
Nah.
No? Okay. Well, silently just walking away from each other.
Yeah.
And finding,
I do have something I'd like to do. Once
okay.
I'm done, though.
All right, we'll just do that first, Caution, and we'll jump back to what the rest of the party get up to with the Gruul. So you eventually, and I would say the same to you, Vicario, you both kind of find a quieter spot where you can still see the lights from the camp, kind of about 100 meters or so, but it seems to be a bit more quieter. There's kind of peace, and you can kind of think to yourself. So, Caution, what would you like to do?
What time of day is it?
At this point, the sun is set. It's hard to know exactly. It's It's dark though. It's nighttime. Probably maybe about 7 or 8 in the evening. It's not late.
Okay. I have 2 things I'd like to do.
Okay.
First, I would like to cast Identify on Reg's bow.
Okay.
And then the second thing I want to do, and I would be willing to stay up. Even if Kosh doesn't get it done, he's going to actually pull an all-nighter to work on this. I want to start working on a small, it's just like a small figurine, basically. Just a small, like, rendering of Reg, actually. Just a small, like, steel figurine. Very, very small. He'd have to use Tinker Tools to even do it. He wouldn't have any way to, like, color it or anything. It would just be kind of like a steel figurine.
Okay, just for my reference, would it sort of articulate like an action man? Like a string on the back pulls and you hear "Ora." Or is it just sort of a metal carving almost of Reg?
More of a metal carving.
Okay, sure. Why don't you just do a quick tinkerer's check for that then?
Okay.
That's a thing?
That's a 26.
Okay. So yeah, using the metal that you've kind of gathered and put together, you within a space of a few hours, you managed to kind of piece together this. It's not Reg exactly. It's very clearly a goblin figure kind of pieced together, and then you've kind of carved into the metal the symbol of the Boros Legion, the kind of raised fist with the sunburst around it. Look, you're quite pleased with it. It looks pretty good.
Okay.
And then for the Identify spell, I assume you're casting that on Reg's bow.
Yes.
Okay, so Reg's bow, for anyone who wants to know, it's kind of a pale, looks like ash wood it's made out of, and it's kind of carved with various symbols of the Boros Legion and quite angelic symbols as well. And Kosh, after you kind of spent some time studying it and looking into it, it seems that it's just a regular bow, but it's been enchanted in some way so that however dirty it gets, within about the space of 24 hours, it will just clean itself. That's the only magical enchantment you can find.
Right. Reg has the Mr. Clean bow. Right.
It cleans itself. Yeah.
The only thing
Okay.
clean on his body.
I will go ahead and lean the bow against a tree next to me, and I'll place the little Reg figurine next to it. And I assume it's pretty late at this point, given how long it took me to make the figurine. So I'll just curl up inside my sleeping bag, no fire, and have a very uncomfortable night's rest.
Okay. So before I jump to the guys back in the camp, Vicario, is there anything you'd like to do, or you just essentially kind of join the...
So pretty much just to describe what Vicario is doing right now, he lights a small fire, and he's casting thaumaturgy on it to make it his preferred, like, low gray, like a kind of smoky flame. And essentially, he's doing this away from everyone because of who he is. But essentially, he's thinking to himself, I've lost a great friend, and now I've lost the friend of that friend. And he's very sad. He knows that there's power, specifically in the Orzhov, to help people not die, and he just feels, like a failure. He feels very disappointed in himself, and he kind of is going to be practicing all of his innate magic to force himself to try to get better. They're just sitting there. Eventually, though, he's not going to sleep outside. So eventually, he's going to go back to the gate.
Okay, so I would say that the Gruul kind of let you in, and you're just looking for kind of a slightly quieter spot, you think, kind of away from the Gruul tents, or are you looking for anything else?
No, it would be at a point where it's quieted down. It'd be later on, and I would just find an area that's away from too many tents and just like sleep.
Away from the latrine pit and that sort of thing. Okay.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. All right. So we'll now jump back to the rest of the party and back in time a little bit. So Azares, Razix, and Talora, you guys make your way towards this kind of Gruul campfire. And there seems to be quite a bit of jolliness going on. They're all kind of cheering and yelling and passing tankards between them. And as you approach, some of them kind of look up toward you, and there's a human man who addresses you, and he's got kind of straggly brown hair, and he kind of looks you in the eye and says, "Hello? What are you not doing here?"
Come to kick ass and take names and drink. Give me that. I can yoink a drink out of it.
Sound of that, and he kind of passes you a tankard, and they gradually pass that amongst all of you, and they all start drinking and cheering and little bit of revelry going on. So
I turn to Laura and Razix and I go, to Reg.
Reg.
And drink.
And drink.
Oh wait, I can use
What the hell is this?
yeah, I would say after drinking that, there is no pleasure in that drink at all. It
Holy-
tastes almost like it tastes almost like fermented milk.
Oh,
Essentially, it's quite sour and
Jesus.
a little bit lumpy. Is it?
I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but I missed the nightclub. Oh.
Yeah, these are nowhere close to the cocktails from the Devil's Vice, I will say.
Well, it's not so bad if you drink more of it, though.
this background music bangs. Just throwing it out.
I don't think it's the drink getting better. I think it's just us getting more drunk.
Yes, that's fine by me. Where's more?
I look at it.
More and more, get more. Aye, that's how we like it. And they kind of pass out more tankards. A few of them start kind of dance around the fire and that sort of thing. And one of them actually kind of puts down his hand and tries to grab you by the shoulder as Aries to pull you up to dance alongside him.
No.
Okay, he kind of takes the message, doesn't want to piss off a door, and he kind of just goes back to capering around the fire himself. So
I just kind of sit there and watch, and while everyone's doing their jolliness and whatnot, I have a little cry
okay, all right, sure.
while I'm drinking my alcohol.
Okay. So you guys are all kind of sitting by quietly, just kind of drinking yourselves. Anything you'd like to do, or we just kind of drink for a little bit more and then sort of gradually find a quieter spot to sleep, or is there anything you'd like to do?
Yeah, I'll disappear eventually once I've had my fill and go and have a nap.
Okay. And Talora, what would you like to
Can I just like look around, look at obviously there's a bunch of warriors around, kind of just taking note of what the warriors are doing, what they look like, what they're wielding, kind of just people seeing basically.
Yeah. So the kind of people, there's a lot of kind of fire pits set up, and there's pretty much a similar scene at all of them where there's various different kinds of humanoids gathered around them. There's humans and a few elves, Viashinos, goblins, all kind of gather around these fires and capering together and dancing, that sort of thing. But you can also see kind of watching from the open tents, normally sort of the younger members of the clan, the kind of children who might or who lived and raised amongst this, and some of the sort of older women and men look on as well and kind of laugh and joke. And as for what they're armed with, most of them seem to just have some sort of animal hides as leather, as armor. A few don't even have armor at all. Some of them are painted with various kind of patterns and designs, and a few have quite ornate tattoos along their arms and upper chests and along their faces. Some of the tattoos as well, taking a good look, seem to almost resemble maps of city streets and things like that. And as for weapons, it's mostly seem to be maybe weapons that they've scavenged whilst doing whatever it is they get up to, as well as sort of homemade weapons, which are kind of like clubs and maybe bows and arrows, that sort of thing.
Okay.
All right. And Razix, anything you'd like to do?
The only thing I'd really like to see is before Ceres leaves, just to kind of grab her and say, Reg's death will not be in vain. We will find out what happened and we will do the right thing.
I don't doubt that. Thank you, Razix.
And then I will chug back as much of it as I can handle without puking, I guess, because soiled milk sounds gross.
Okay, yeah, it is pretty gross, Razix. Why don't you make a Constitution saving throw? See how well you can do.
Oh, dear
Razix
God.
got an
Hey, that's not bad. I rolled a 22.
22. So after a few, maybe it's not so bad after all. It's strong. I guess you're drunk. It's not too bad. You can kind of stomach it for a bit. You down a few of them and you feel kind of quite jolly and good until it all starts to hit you, and essentially you just kind of almost a drunken stupor, just pretty much collapse by the fire. So
Classic.
I kind of just look at him.
Okay. All right. So before we go into the next part, I think this is actually a good spot for a break before we jump into the next morning. So we'll just take a quick 5-minute break here, everyone. We'll get a drink, that sort of thing, and then we'll be back to continue the party the next morning. Okay, are we back?
We're back.
Oh, we're back. Okay, so just as we left off, the party had bedded down for the evening, doing various things to kind of relax and deal with a sad loss within the group. But now morning has arisen and a new day begins. Razix, you kind of come together probably before everyone else, and your head is sore and your mouth is dry and your tongue feels thick and heavy in your mouth. But you know, you're
The hell were you doing last night?
I would say your hybrid body maybe just gives you that little bit edge in defeating a hangover, and you don't feel too bad the next morning. And you can kind of see a kind of Talora in one sort of quieter spot, and there's kind of a low amount of activity in the camp as fires have sort of burnt out, and there's people kind of passed out next to the fires where there's some kind of flitting between tents, maybe preparing some sort of morning meal. So what would you like to do?
I'll go see if Talora's awake. Like, is she actually, like, do I see Talora? Or just her tent?
You can. It's not her tent. No, you can just see her kind of sleeping alongside one of the fires. You kind of, I assume, kind of shake her by the shoulder slightly and wait.
Yeah.
Oh God! First Aziris and now you. Okay, I'm up.
You might want to eat something before what's about to happen.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. How the heck are you not more? How are you not more hungover?
Call me resilient.
Jesus.
This
Ugh.
This body. Yeah.
All right. Go get Aziris. We'll get ready.
Okay. So after kind of looking through the camp, you kind of spot Azaris' form kind of curled up amongst her blankets. So are you just wanting to wake her up?
Yeah, I'll kneel down and
wall ever.
kind of poke at her. I don't want to startle her. If I
You do
can
startle
help
me. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, she might kill you if you start her.
Where's my axe? There it is. It's fine. Okay. Hello. Good morning.
it. Good morning.
Hi. Ugh.
I don't know how to get breakfast, and I'm too scared to ask.
So you want me to get you breakfast? So when you woke me up.
Well, I just think we should all eat something before whatever's about to happen.
Yes, we should. All right. Give me a second. I kind of trundle up and shovel my crap back in my imaginary backpack thing. And then I will I'll walk over to the fire and make friends with whoever's preparing food and ask him if we can have some.
Okay, so before we come to that, I would say probably Kosh and Vikeru, you guys sort of have a rough idea of where the rest of the party kind of left off from you during last night. Sorry. So are you? I'd assume just kind of make your way towards where you last saw them.
I was actually going to say I would like a ghost behind Talora.
All right. Okay. Oh, that's not over his microphone.
I rolled a nat 1 on my what?
Yourself, yeah. Morning, Vikeru.
Anyway,
As he knocks into something and
It was a nice catch, though, to be fair. You stopped it on the way down.
Kicks over some cans or whatever.
I knocked the wind out of myself. Okay, I have like a cup with me. I had to ask, like, can you like make fresh water? Because I have a feeling that these people don't have fresh water. Is that something that you can do? Because I saw you. Wait, crap! That wasn't me. That was Daryl. Never mind. I was referencing something. I was gonna say because I remember you parting the waters. I was like, oh, you do stuff with water. I totally forgot that wasn't me.
Identity crisis there.
Never mind. I'm gonna find some water and try to boil it.
Okay, sure. So I would say you kind of find a few kegs that, after just a sniff of the tap of the keg, you smell alcoholic and you kind of pour a little bit out into your hand. And it looks like water. So you kind of gather enough, put it in a small pan and boil it over a fire. So, Kosh, are you just making your way towards where you last saw the rest of the party?
Yeah, I'll just slump down next to a
Okay,
bench and just sit there.
Okay. So, Azaris, you were kind of walking over to this fire where you can see there's kind of some sort of iron pot bubbling above a fire, and there's kind of an older looking clan member sitting alongside it, spooning something from a bowl into his mouth.
Good morning. I say
Morning.
My party and I partake in some breakfast. Good sir.
Help yourselves.
Thank you.
Make sure to leave enough for the others, though.
Oh, we'll do. Don't worry. We're not that hungry. So just grab a little bit and start dishing them out to the guys.
Sure. It seems to be you kind of gather enough bowls from everyone and put it all together. It seems to be some sort of oatmeal, and you, after a few spoonfuls, it's pretty tasteless. It's just boiled wheat. There seems to be is all they put together here. There's not a lot of there's no meat or any sort of seasoning or anything like that. It's quite bland.
Do I have any of the berries left?
You sure
Right.
do. I'm pretty sure you did.
You've gathered quite enough, so yeah, you could add berries to your oatmeal if you wanted to.
As he does that, we look over and it's like,
Oh yeah, I definitely hand them out.
Oh, okay.
Sure, you kind of have enough to sprinkle a small handful on everyone's breakfast.
The rest of the Gruul looks on in envy.
yeah.
berries. Where'd they get those? All right.
I do breakfast.
So you guys are all sort of gathered around this fire now. What would you like to do?
All right. Well, I think we're supposed to go meet what's her face, Ayla.
Yeah.
She said he said that she was supposed to meet us here, wasn't she?
Anyone see her?
It was
Yeah,
by his tent.
By his tent. All right.
All
So
right.
let's finish our breakfast and we'll see if she's by the tent.
By the tent. Yeah.
Scarf.
All right, so you guys finish your breakfast and make your way towards the tent where, as you can see, more and more people are starting to rise by this point and are gathering weapons, and there's a lot less excitement, I will say now. There seems to be a slight tension in the air. You know, the night before a battle, bit of excitement and, you know, boasting. But now that the harsh reality has arrived that some of these people might die within the next few hours, you know, it's a bit more of a solemn tone to what they're kind of speaking about. But as you guys make your way through the camp and up towards the large tent where War Speaker Gorhorn is, you can see him outside and he's kind of chatting with a few other clan members, and you can see Ayla standing off to one side with a bow just kind of resting at her leg, and she kind of looks up at you all as you approach and says, hello cobble roaches, heard you got into a bit of trouble last night.
Yeah, just a little bit from what I've heard, and I look at the rest of the party.
Oh yeah, because you wouldn't have met. All right, this is Talora. This is Ayla. Wait, that did meet?
We've
Yeah.
met.
When?
She's the one who got me to you.
Oh right. Never mind. I forgot that. Sorry.
It's okay. No,
We thought-
you had a rough night. It's okay.
well, I was referencing your fallen comrade. I'm sorry to hear of his passing. Seemed like a good fellow, honest at least.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, we have business today. So,
Ew.
are you all ready?
Yes.
Now, the decision, I'm not sure what Gorhorn said to you. I can either go with you and show you a good spot where we can keep an eye on the camp and then send you on your way. Or if you're feeling up to it, quietly make your way through the rubble belt yourselves to where we spied out the camp the first time. It's up to you. If you'd rather tackle this on your own, I'm more than happy to stay back.
I mean, I'm sure we welcome her help.
The more the merrier.
She knows the rebel belt better than we do.
Yeah.
All right.
We wouldn't want to get lost.
But I will say I'm no following you into the mines. There's
No, that's fine.
That's
some
fine.
business going on there, and I want no part of it. So, all right.
Fair enough.
Okay, so Ayla sort of gathers herself together and starts to head off through the camp. So you all following,
Mhm.
making your way out. So yeah, okay. So she passes through the gates of the camp, and you guys gradually move away off into the kind of the deeper forested areas of the rubble belt, kind of still passing through the odd destroyed remnants of civilization that may have once been here, until after about an hour's journey, she turns to you and says, "We're approaching Clan Skyre's territory now, so we need to move quietly from here on in. Be on your guard. We don't want to alert any patrols about to give them anything to be on their guard for, really. We don't want to spoil the surprise that Clan Pelskar are up to, so stealthy from now on." So I'm going to make a stealth check for Ayla.
Oh dear.
What would the rest of you like to do?
I mean,
I'll
I
have
guess
to
we'll
make a
stealth with her.
check.
All right.
Yeah.
When I see her start
I'm going to whip out my trombone.
bagpipes of destiny.
Okay. So Ayla, nat 20, so well done. Nice.
Ooh.
I rolled a 10.
10, okay.
Rolled a
Yeah, 14.
13.
14, 13. Talora?
Got an 8.
Oh, come on now. And gosh,
21.
21, okay. All right.
Fucking hell.
So, you know, it's not bad, actually. You guys kind of all follow where Ayla walks and kind of avoid really making too much noise. And at any point, there doesn't seem to be any sounds of alarm or any call outs until gradually you guys kind of descend just around the edges of the valley where you saw Clan Skyre's camp, and just gradually make your way through this old dried out riverbed until you're essentially lying now, or it leads you into this ditch where you guys can, it kind of looks down into the valley itself, and you guys can get a good look of the camp of Clan Skyre and then the cave. And there's still the same sort of activity around it, people moving back and forth between the cave, but it seems relatively peaceful. No one seems to be alert to anything approaching. So Ayla turns to you and says, I'm going to leave you here now, if that's all right. I want to help in the battle. So just listen out for the sounds of the attack. It won't be quiet. And I'd advise you wait until you see people leave the mine and then move. But other than that, I wish you the best of luck, and maybe we'll meet again.
I hope so.
She kind of crawls back off the ditch and begins to quietly make her way back into the dense forest. So you guys are now lying on the edge of this ditch, looking on the camp. Would anything you like to do, or are you just all going to quietly wait? Is there anything anyone wants to talk about beforehand, or?
All right. What is the general plan here once they all move out?
I assume we move into the mine, try to find who we're looking for as quickly as possible. We don't want to linger in there for sure.
We need them alive.
Yeoman we're looking for, correct?
Yep, and we need them alive.
How are we going to get him out of there?
Guess we'll figure that out once we find him. I don't know, but I don't know. If they know that people are coming to fight, they might all leave the mine. So we'll have to move quickly.
Ayla said that Yeoman has only left a handful of times.
True. So maybe he'll bunker down. All right.
If he doesn't leave, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Doesn't matter anyway. Let's just do this.
All right. I guess we just wait.
Okay. You guys gonna bide your time and wait, and an hour passes, 2 hours pass, and nothing really happens until all of a sudden you can hear the distant blowing of a horn, and it sounds 3 times.
Yeah,
exactly. Thanks, Ailey. You hear this kind of horn sound out, and all of a sudden the guards who kind of patrol around the camp, the guys keeping a watch on, suddenly all look off into the forest where the horn seem to sound from, and they all begin to suddenly filter back into the camp, more sort of pull out from the forest, and you can see they're generally sort of fortifying down into the camp itself, kind of barricading up the gates, and more people start to flow out from the mines as well. Several of them looks like clan members, and then there's more people as well that you see kind of running towards the camp, and they're these figures that are dressed in kind of these long dark robes with hoods raised, and they're all pretty much sprinting straight out to get to the camp, and eventually they as many of them as they expect seem to arrive, and they close the gates behind them, and a few more minutes pass, and all of a sudden there's a break in the trees just off down to your left, a few hundred meters away, and just this massive army begins to spill forward. There's large towering giants kind of stomp through and come smashing through the forests and joining them and screaming and yelling out in any sort of battle rage or lust. They're just throwing themselves out of this forest towards, and you can see arrows sort of shoot off from the camp, and rocks are lobbed by the giant figures within there towards the approaching horde, but few of them do fall, and several losses need to be taken before they eventually arrive at the walls of the camp, and they begin to hack, and the giants tear apart the defenses, and they begin to breach in, and it seems to be that the battle is now in full swing at the camp. So I would say that now may be a good time. It seems like there's quite a big distraction. But I'll leave that up to you what you guys want.
That's a rather spectacular sight, isn't it? Holy crap.
Oof. All right.
All right, let's go.
Wait, nobody's left the mine yet.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did.
I did.
Oh, they did? Oh,
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah,
Sorry, I'm still out of it.
All right,
it's okay. Yeah, we better get moving quickly.
let's go.
Okay.
Can we
Scary.
do it with somewhat stealth?
Yeah.
Sure, you guys wanting to try and stealth it. It's essentially like an open plain that you can see. There seems to be a lot of cover, but the grass is quite long. There's the odd rock you might be able to kind of essentially
Just try
pass
not
on.
to draw attention to us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why don't just for the sake of it, make a stealth check for me, everyone, again.
Without Reg in his foot now, this might be okay.
But you have
15.
me.
Yeah, that's how we still have.
Okay, so sorry, what was that? Who's that? 15?
15, me.
Okay. Toro, is that
I rolled a 4.
Oh,
I
dear
rolled a 4.
Vikaru?
I got a 15.
15, Kosh?
15.
15.
Oh.
Frantic Razix.
15 game
Respectable
represent.
11.
11. Okay. As you guys set off, you begin to kind of stealthily but quickly make your way across this open plain. And at one point, Talora, your foot gets caught up on a root that kind of runs through the ground. You kind of fall down onto your face, but doesn't seem to have drawn any attention from the large battle that's happening. And after kind of being helped up, you all begin to move quickly across the open field and up towards. There's a slight kind of raise in the ground that leads up towards the entrance to the mine. And yeah, you guys are now outside the mine, and you can't really see that far into it. There's a few kind of distant lights of torches if you want to head inside, or what would you like to do?
I'm going to cast Mage Armor.
I was going to say, yeah.
And
Yeah, I think we should just go straight inside.
Yeah.
We don't want to
Head straight in.
We don't wanna
we
dawdle.
we don't
And
want
just-
to be walking out of here when this
Yeah.
battle's done, probably.
Okay.
I'll do
Alright.
like a quick look behind just to make sure that no one sees us going in.
Okay. So you guys kind of take a look around. Azarius, why don't you make a perception check for me?
I'd also like to cast Shillelagh as we're going in.
Okay.
12.
12.
Yeah.
You kind of look towards, but there's a lot of people fighting amongst themselves now. You can see the walls of the camp have kind of started to fall down on one side, and there's just all out fighting and chaos inside this camp.
Right.
At this distance, you can't tell friend from foe, and no one's pointing and looking towards you, I will say.
Cool.
Then you guys all head into the front of this mine now. And if you give me a second. Okay, so you guys enter this very large open cavern. You can see that you pass through the slightly narrow entrance into this open area, and then you can see it's partially lit by these burning braziers that kind of dot the edges, and there's torches kind of put into like long wooden holders that kind of light up some of the areas. The walls that you can see, there seems to be a lot of mining that's been done to them. The rocks kind of being carved away, but there are some parts where it doesn't look like there's been any mining activity, and there's various carvings in the rock depicting kind of bestial faces and geometric patterns and shapes, that sort of thing. But you can all hear throughout this cavern this sound of metal hitting rock echoes throughout the cave. And I would say just in front of you as well, you can see there's a metal cage with a few figures kind of slouched against the edge, but one of those figures seems to be staring towards you if you guys have just kind of entered.
Prisoners, maybe?
Who
Possibly.
cares?
Maybe they've got information, then we don't care. Do we want to talk to them or do we want to just carry on?
Yeah, at the very least, we can go see what they are.
Let's go quickly.
'Cause I don't think we could see very well from how far we are.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys kind of descend a little bit down into the cavern now, and you can see as you guys are pushing a little bit further in, there's behind this cage as well. I will say there seems to be 2 exits from the cavern. I will just say for now, but as you guys approach the cage, there's 3 figures inside. 2 of them look to be Gruul clan members, but they look very thin and some sort of maybe starvation or dehydration is setting, and they're kind of slouched against the walls of the cage. But one of those figures staring right at you as you approach. And Connor, if you would finally like to describe
Whoa.
yourself.
I would love
About
to.
time!
The third figure you see in the cage is quite a large figure. He seems to stand just over 6 feet tall. He's pretty broad-shouldered and well-built, and he looks like definitely a sort of fighter's build. He's dressed actually still in his armor. It's a little bit scuffed and muddied by God knows how long spent in this cage, but it appears to be actually remarkably well pieced together compared to a lot of the Gruul warriors you saw. He's got kind of short to mid-length, scruffy, dark grey hair and a short, full beard, and over one eye and through the gaps that you can see in at the top of his neck, he seems to bear numerous tattoos in the sort of constantly shifting ink that the Gruul favour. They don't quite look like the ones you saw of those in Clan Pelska, though. It's kind of hard to make out, but he's sort of just staring you down with a steely gaze at the moment.
All right. I approach the 3. I'm like, all right, identify yourselves. Who are you? Why are you in the cage?
Get me out of this damned cage. and then we can talk.
Well, that's not very convincing.
Well, I'm not exactly an ally of this lot. If I'm in the cage, I don't know the other two.
I look at the other two and I'll be like, why are you in the cage? What'd you do? Do the other two say
The other two. Right.
Yeah, the other two, there is no response from them. Their eyes are closed and they're leaning against the cage. And I will say, Connor, I won't reveal your name just yet. You've been in the cage with them for some time, and a few days passed. There was no activity from them since then. They may be asleep or
right. Crap, guys, what do you think? I'll turn to the party and.
He's the one in the cage. We're the ones outside of it. Be strong, Ceres. Be firm. He answers to you.
Wait. You said you're not an ally of those who caged you, right?
Alright.
Would you be willing to raise a hand against those who have caged you?
Oh, I would be more than willing. Let me out of this cage, and I imagine we'll be on the same side. Besides,
Alright.
I'm unarmed. What am I gonna do?
What good are you then to us? That's the other thing.
I have a dagger.
Oh,
You can
dear
stick
God,
him
don't
with the pointy
give him
end.
freaking dagger.
Yeah, he's gonna take all of us with a dagger.
I'm sure we can find some sort of weapon lying around.
Well, screw it.
Don't
I
be
take my
worried about
axe.
that.
He can take one off of the first.
Just
Gruul
get me
we
out
run
of this cage, and I'll look after
Alright.
myself. Don't worry.
You see this big axe? I like killing things with it. You try anything, I'm gonna kill you with it. Cool. Right.
Charming.
Break it open.
Okay, is there
Get out.
want to make a let's just say a strength check for this actually. Seeing as it's just brute force essentially, you're just aiming for the lock on this cage.
Yeah. Natural 20.
With
Two of me come out.
with an expert cleave, Azarius just swings overhead and just shears straight through the lock, and the cage just swings open.
Alright. I'm gonna step out, and as I step out, couldn't concentrate in there. I'm gonna whip out my hand, and in a burst of green flame, a large two-handed sword appears in my hand.
Bloody
Much
hell.
better. There we go.
So much for unarmed. What's your name?
Kevros. And who are you? This seems like a unlikely coalition for this part.
We kind of got roped into some shenanigans. We're trying to find someone who took a friend of our friend. His name's Yorman. Any idea where we might find him?
Kevros, I would say you've heard mention of the name Yorman between some of the hooded guards who've kept you in prison here. You haven't seen him, but they've referenced him being deeper within the caves of the mines.
Right. I've heard that name from the guards, but he just seems to be in charge here. I don't know what's going on. I've seen some strange things.
Strange. Let's walk and talk, shall we?
Yeah, so we're on a clock, people. We should walk and talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd see
So-
myself rid of this place.
I assume we introduce ourselves to him as we walk as well.
Sure. So you guys kind of walk through the cavern for a little bit, sharing names, that sort of thing. And there's two exits from the cavern. Both of them, you can hear the sound of metal hitting rock. From the one to the left, there seems to be a little bit more sound coming from that side, I will say. But both, you can see kind of torchlight just bouncing off the walls of the cave. But there seems to be two sort of tunnels that lead away.
Which way? Left or right?
I've not been
Is there
taken
any-
in further, I'm afraid.
I was gonna say, is there any is there anything that sticks out that maybe oh, we should go this way? Like whether or not there's, I don't know.
Do either of
Is
the
there a
tunnels
giant
seem to
sign?
lead? Do either
like,
of the
is there any
tunnels seem
sign?
to lead downward?
They both kind of do. It's hard to really notice one more than the other. There's no one that's like a sudden sheer slope 90 degrees down, I would say.
Let's go to the one without the ding, ding.
Sorry,
ding.
they both have that sound.
They both have that.
Yeah.
But you said the one has more noise.
Yeah, the one to your left.
I'm assuming we're gonna be looking for the one with noise if we're looking
Eeny,
for
meeny,
a
miny,
person.
moe.
Yeah, let's go left. We don't have a lot of time here, and I take
Yeah.
off down the left one.
Hang about.
Alright.
What is it
I would
that-
not go first.
What are you trying to do here?
We need yeomen.
Kill some people.
Why are
and
you here?
take some people.
We need a
Told
guy.
you.
We need the foreman alive, and we need to kill anyone else that is trying to stop us from getting to the foreman, or put them down temporarily.
We just need
Alright.
information from him.
Listen,
The foreman has my friend.
things are wrong down here. You're gonna want to keep your wits about you, because trust me, I've seen things that aren't right. You're not fighting against Gruul in here. There's something else.
What are we seeing?
Well, let's be real. The Gruul don't exactly, like working for other people. But it seems like they've sucked the very spirit out of them. They're just mindless now. They used to hammer away at the wall opposite the cage, and they used to do it until they just dropped. They're not Gruul anymore. Whoever you're after, it's something bad.
Expect magic then.
What's new?
This is not the first time we've seen someone do something against their will.
Alright. Well,
Just keep wits about us.
I'll help you with this, because I'm not from this clan, but nobody should do this to free men.
I like you more. All right, let's go. Let's go
You
kill
might
things.
not kill us now, then.
Maybe not.
So are you guys heading to the left, is it? Where there's
Yeah.
this kind of more activity. Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys kind of pass through, and there's a few, again, torches that it's kind of a stone tunnel you follow for a little bit. But it looks like it's natural, this stone tunnel. It doesn't look like it's been carved out until eventually you come to an area where it seems to slightly open more and a larger cavern. You guys all just kind of heading around there's a light bend. Are you just all wanting to head around together and look, or?
Can I take like a cursory peek around to see if there's anything?
Okay. Azarius, why don't you make a perception check for me?
Oh dear God. Don't roll like shit. 16.
Don't worry, you're
16.
not me.
Okay, so Azarius, you just kind of peek around the corner and take a good look at this large cavern. So it opens up into a much larger area with several braziers and torches again burning around the room, giving off a faint glow. There's several stacks of crates and barrels and sacks off to both your right and left. There's a lot of what looks like wooden scaffolding almost, where there's kind of ladders leading up to upper portions of the cave. And you can see there's parts of the wall that definitely look like they've been mined. They're kind of stripped away and clearly kind of broken out of the rock itself. But you can see several figures just mutely standing before the cave walls, just swinging picks silently back and forth, and that's where the sound of this kind of metal tinging is coming from.
Okay.
But you don't see any what looks like armed individuals other than those armed with just picks. There's no guards or anything like that.
Be quiet. Let's see if we can sneak
They
past
won't
them.
even pay a heed. I tried calling to them from the cage, but they're not there anymore. They're like one of those blasted machines from the city. There's no mind there anymore.
All right.
Just
Let's
leave
go
them
then.
be.
Quietly,
Yep.
let's pass.
Okay, well, I will say that there's no apparent exit to this cave. They just
Oh,
seem to be-
there's
Oh,
nothing?
it's nothing beyond that. Okay.
No,
So it's just
no,
them
there's just
carrying on.
figures.
Yeah, so.
So we gotta go back.
Yep.
Okay, so you guys head back, and are you following the other path this time?
Yes.
Yep.
So again, you guys kind of pass through another sort of short stone tunnel that kind of leads to, and again, it seems to be natural until eventually you can see there's another part where the tunnel bends around a corner, and there's more sort of torchlight flicker reflecting against the back wall of the tunnel you're in, where it kind of bends around. Are you wanting to do the same thing again, where you kind of peek around and take a look?
Yeah. Just
Okay.
see what we're up for.
Okay, can I just get an order? Yeah. Is that you got Azarius?
Asarius is in front. I actually.
would be striding pretty near the front. Well, I'm talking to Azaris, right? So I'm right by her.
Okay, Azarius, Kavros,
I'll be third.
Kosh,
I'll be in the back.
Razix in the
Like,
back.
next, I guess.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay, Razix. Then Tlora, Vicaru, who wants to be?
Whichever, yeah.
I don't think. Okay, all right. Okay, so Azarius, why don't you go ahead and make another perception check?
Ooh, that's a 22.
Okay, so looking into this is another kind of open cavern, but it seems to be slightly lower in terms of where the roof of the cavern is. There's more of these, well, just to be clan members, mutely just mining against the walls, and they're just swinging almost mechanically, and the stones and kind of ores break off. And you can see as well, there's crates off to your left. Some of them have been opened. They seem to contain various foodstuffs and fruit and vegetables, that sort of thing. Then off to your right, you can see there's various stacked crates and sacks where there's kind of just all manner of like ores and what looks to be kind of rocks with different colored portions gathered in kind of on this sheet of cloth. And then just off further into your right, you can see there's a wooden table lined out that seems to have several glittering objects that just kind of catch the light in various different blues and reds and greens and whites, that sort of thing. And then just further off to your left, you can see there's another portion that kind of opens out where, and this I would say looks like because you kind of rolled so high in your perception, it looks like deliberate mining has gone on here. This area has been kind of tunneled through. And then just further back into the cavern, there's a large stalactite. So that's one that comes off from the ground. And there's various large rocks.
Are there any stalagmites?
Stalactites are from the top.
Are they? I always thought it was G for ground.
No, stalactite, you gotta hold on tightly or fall.
All right, okay. Never mind then. I got it wrong. I was so proud of myself when I wrote that. Cause that's why
Stalagmite hit the roof.
Stalagmites, Talora might fall on one.
All right. Well, never mind. This is my official retirement from D&D.
Okay.
Okay, so what would you like to do?
I would like to start raging.
Are you sure?
No, I don't know.
I would like to cast Mage Hand once I get within 30 feet of that table.
Okay.
Hey.
He's stealing gems.
All right, no.
Shiny gem.
Don't start raging yet, but I will approach.
In the barrels of food and provisions that we can see, what like food is visible?
There's kind of just different fruits and veggies, I would say, is kind of where the open...
Can I just like grab out an apple?
Yeah, because it's probably has been a long time. Yeah. The apple's kind of dried out a little bit. It's not kind of like has that fresh, crisp, juicy flavor that you normally get from a nice fresh apple.
Yeah, when the party gives me a weird look, I'm just gonna say, I haven't eaten in a week. You don't get to be picky out there.
Okay.
Keep munching
I'm gonna hand him a ration and be like, there.
Okay.
I was gonna say if I had any berries left, I'd give him some of this.
Cool.
Let's push it into the room and see what we can find.
Yeah.
Okay, so Vicario, are you going to try and lift one of these what seem to be glittering rocks off one of the tables? Any preference for color?
What
What colors are
So
there?
there's hold on, let me double check this. Give me a second here. I did take a note of this just in case. So we have green, red, yellow, blue, and white.
I would like to try and get the Mage Hand can lift like 10 pounds. I'm going to try and get at least the blue and white one.
Okay, so you kind of scoop a good handful together and start to lift them up. As you do,
Oh
you
dear.
hear a voice call out from the rocks towards the back of the room. Hands off of Spoils Might, as two figures step around the rocks, and they're wearing these long dark cloaks with hoods raised, and they kind of start to advance into the room. And as they do begin to move in, the figures that are silently mining at the edges of the room suddenly stop mining and all slowly, almost robotically turn and face you. And you can see, it is clan members. But what's strange is that their eyes seem to glow blue, and a faint blue light emanates from just around their head. I would like all of you to roll initiative.
Oh,
Oh.
man.
Oh boy!
Can I start raging now?
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
what are the
Yay.
two figures who aren't the sort of thralls or people in thrall? What do they look like? The two people walking out?
they're wearing these kind of dark leather coats, and they look exactly like the kind of other guards that you've seen dotted around within the mines to kind of do whatever,
Okay.
And they're sort of just coming out from the back. So let me just add everyone to the turn order here.
Oh, are we at the top or on the?
You guys are kind of off towards the left
The
here.
difference from Reg, I've got a big old 0 modifier on my initiative.
So you guys want to
is
pop
there-
And you don't get advantage either.
I don't. However, I do get a fucking massive
Probably
sword.
gonna have to move up a bit. Probably gonna have to move up a bit, Elias, because there's a couple more of us between you and.
There.
I'm here.
I rolled poorly. Sorry.
Okay, give me a second here. Is everyone down?
Mine is just black.
It's black, is it? Try reopening the. Try
Oh,
giving
okay.
it a refresh.
I refreshed it. It just now popped up. Okay.
All right, lovely.
I was very confused because people were like, "Are we over here?" I'm like, this is just darkness."
Who doesn't have a turn yet? Kosh.
Sorry, I haven't put mine in. Mine's 15.
I rolled a 16.
This roll.
Hey, so did I.
This roll.
Get your hands off my roll.
I need to be in the. Oh right, I haven't.
Oh, yeah, if you want to drop your token for me, Justin, then I'll add you in.
Oh.
Then we'll be all good. There we go.
It's because my sheet disappeared. When I refreshed.
So what
I
did
was saying, who's this guy next to me? Crap, I'm gonna get hit. I mean, no, it's you.
Yes. All right. So, Kosh, or actually, Kosh and Radix both at the same time. Who has the higher Dex mod?
I do.
All right. So, Kosh, if you'd like to.
How do you know?
Intuition.
Go ahead.
Can I kind of get an idea of what everyone looks like in here? I'm not entirely sure what I'm looking
So
at.
around the edges of the room, you can see these guys are clan members from a Gruul clan of some sort. They're holding these large two-handed or picks that they're wielding in two hands. They look quite heavy and quite vicious if they did hit you. They're kind of spiked at both ends. And off towards the back, there's these two figures dressed in kind of a long dark leather cloaks with hoods raised. And you can see this kind of on them. They have various bandoliers of knives strapped across their chests and around their waist.
Okay. I'll just go ahead and fire to the guy above me up here.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead and take my first shot for that is a 15.
That hits.
Okay. So he takes 10 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
Fire off at him.
So as you raise your gauntlet and just fire off a blast, it just hits this guy deep into the shoulder, and it leaves this large bleeding wound that's just kind of spraying out across the ground. But I will say, when you hit them, there was no reaction whatsoever in terms of pain or anything like that. They seem to be devoid of any feeling. So
Nice. Okay.
Find your
I'll go
turn.
ahead and use my bonus action to reload, and on my turn.
okay, Razix.
I'll peek out from beside Kosh. Oh, I got the wrong tool on here, sorry. Peek out just over here. And I'm going to cast something different today.
Okay.
I'm going to cast Spike Growth.
Okay.
Yes.
Centered here. If I can help so. It's a 20-foot radius from that point.
20-foot radius, so it hits all of them.
And
Does that affect your handsome Eldritch Knight chums as well, if they run into it?
It is, yes.
Okay.
Roots or some type of naturally. It matches the terrain that I'm casting this in.
Okay.
It makes the area difficult to traverse, makes it difficult terrain, and anyone within the area who moves within the area takes 2d4 piercing damage every 5 feet they travel.
Ooh.
Okay. All
And
right.
yeah, it's any area that anyone who can't see needs to make a wisdom save if they didn't already see me cast the spell.
All right. Okay. All right. I'm just going to draw a little yellow dot there, sorry, because that was the point you started it from, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Anything else?
Unless Shillelagh has worn off by now, I'm going to recast Shillelagh.
How long does it last? A minute, is it?
10 minutes?
I would say it's probably ran out by now.
All right. I'll, for my bonus action, recast Shillelagh on myself.
Okay. All right.
And that's it for me.
Kevros.
Alright, so how far does I see the ground become spiked and jagged, right?
Yeah, I mean, you saw Razix cast something.
How far does that stretch?
So it's 20 feet from this point here.
Oh.
So
Pretty far.
Alright, well, I'm going to run up to the one next to me, because he's right next to me.
sure.
I'm going to turn to the party and be like, show them no mercy. Free them from these bounds. I'm going to swing at them for a 22 to hit.
That hits.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I hit with my first attack.
Lovely.
That is going to be... Oh, it's a good one. That's going to be 13 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
As I swing my
Bloody hell.
sword in an overhead arc and slam it on this poor Vaishino.
Yeah, so you just swing your sword overhead, and it just crashes right into the top of his skull and just essentially splits his head in two. He just drops down.
Bloody hell.
All
I
right,
say that audibly.
anything else, Kevros?
I will actually just like straight after that, straight off the swing, just run another like. Hang on, let me measure this. Run another 20 feet in this direction.
Okay.
Remind me never to mess with Kevros.
All right. Vicaru.
The Vicaru special. All right. Crap. How far is this? How do... Ah! I right-clicked, and it's just moved the thing around my screen. All right, so that's 35 feet, so I have to go here. All right. So I'm going to go here and summon my spiritual weapon.
Sure.
Spectral. Need to minus my thing, and then grab... Oh my gosh, I have so many things. All right. Boop. And I summon that over, let's see, I guess right here.
Okay.
And I shall make an attack against the top. Do I want the top left one or the bottom left one? The bottom right one.
Okay, go ahead.
What is my spell attack bonus? 6. That is a 9 total.
Yeah, that doesn't hit, I'm afraid.
Luckily, that's a bonus action. So I get to do Toll the Dead on the same lady.
Okay.
That is wisdom save from you.
All right, that's a 9 total.
She
That's
fails,
failed.
and she takes a d8 because she is not taking damage. She takes 1 damage.
All right, okay. I don't know how to describe 1 damage from Total Dead, so I'm not going to bother.
It's like a doorbell, just like ding ding.
she hears the plink of a single coin, and she's like, "What?"
Yeah.
All right.
Coin.
That'll be it for me.
All right. So let's see. First of all, the person that you just hit, Vicaru, she's going to take a step forward up there. So she will take what damage is it?
It's a 2d4 piercing
Okay.
damage.
If you want to roll that for me, Razix.
Ooh, max 8 damage.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah.
Nice.
So she just steps forward. She seems to step suddenly straight through a spike that's on the ground, and it just pierces right through her shoe, and she lets out kind of a yelp of pain.
Oh,
And
it's
then
rude.
It's like walking on Legos.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so
Becomes a Legoed terrain.
she one by one pulls 3 daggers from the bandolier that's strapped around her, and she is going to she's going to throw them all at you, Kevros. So first of all, first one, that's a 21. Kevros?
Sorry, yeah, that does hit me. Sorry, I was checking my character sheet. But yes, my
What was
AC,
the aim?
unsurprisingly, is not 21.
Okay, 21. Then that's another 21.
Yeah, that also hits.
Bloody hell.
And then 25.
Yep, that'll hit.
Killing Connor already, eh? All right.
Time for my gnome bard.
I
Let's
was
go.
gonna say, you know it's bad when Craig goes full Mario on us.
All right. So that's
Ho ho!
as 3 daggers sink into you, you take 11 points of piercing damage.
All right.
And then let me just double check. Yeah,
Rude.
she can. Okay, so Vicaru, the other one above her, she is going to throw 3 daggers at you. So first of all, that's 16,
Hits.
21,
Hits.
and then that one. So take 8 points of piercing damage as 2 daggers just suddenly slam into your shoulders and embed themselves in. Now,
Alright.
First of all, the one above you, Razix, is going to move towards you and swing its mining pick at you.
Okay.
Let's see, that's a 9, which I assume misses, and then another 9. Okay.
Hey.
The one below you, Kevros, is going to step towards you and swing its mining pick at you.
Bring it on, Nick.
That's an 11
Oh,
and 22.
that does hit, yeah.
Okay, you take 7 points of piercing damage as the pick just suddenly swings deep into your shoulder.
All right.
And then now let me just double check the exact distance. So yeah, it would be right up to the edge. Okay, all right, so he is going to have to cross 5, 10, 15, 20, 5 steps. So Razix, do you want to,
Yikes.
and does he have half movement as well?
Yeah, he is. It's difficult
All
terrain.
right. He would just burn his action to get close. So if you want to do that for me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6
Sorry,
times.
While
Five
he's rolling the damage, Craig, this one approaching me now.
Yes.
What is it? I can't quite make out from the token.
It's just another Gruul clan member. This guy has kind of a.
I was just
an
wondering what
animal
race
skull.
is he? Like,
Oh, he's a human.
all right, okay.
12. Too many dice.
Two people
Okay.
standing next to each other, you say?
So my 5 dice totaled to 20.
Okay, so as this guy steps forward, more and more spikes just keep pressing and piercing through his feet, but he just keeps stepping and stepping until he slowly falls down to his knees as his feet are just mangled, and then they pierce through his knees, and then he falls flat onto his stomach before he's impaled on these
man.
spikes that clear up from the ground.
Oh, that's so good.
The most metal way I've ever killed anyone.
That
That's
is
awesome.
horrifying.
Jeez,
Just
Louise.
running towards.
It's like a saw trap. Like, holy
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Ugh.
so this guy is going to. Okay, so he only has to move through. So if you want to do it once for me, Razix, and has he got half movement whilst going through it? I can't remember what you're.
Yes, yeah, it's difficult terrain.
All right.
It's
so-
8 max damage again.
Okay.
Oh
John
my
is doing freaking
goodness.
work.
I am
Alright.
one
I
spell.
just looked to Razix. Fucking hell.
So
do it.
again, mutely just stamping through the spikes, and they're piercing through his feet, and they just go straight through, and you see blood spray out, but there's no grimace of pain, nothing like that. And then again, keeps walking forward, but he has no actions left. So that ends. Yep, that ends all of their turns. So now, Talora.
All right. I'm gonna start casting Ice Knife, and I'm gonna throw it at the top hooded dude
Okay.
in the corner. It's just 60 feet, so I can just reach it.
So, Craig, which is the one that took damage from moving? It's the one at like the right-hand side. Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So, that one.
No, sorry, I mean the
21?
hooded.
Oh,
That's a 21. Sorry.
that hits.
All right. So I'm gonna roll my piercing damage, and then after it'll explode, and then you gotta do the
Okay.
save. So that's 3 piercing damage, and then I believe it's a dexterity saving throw.
Okay, and
Yeah.
how far is it? 5 feet, so it won't hit both.
Yeah. It's all. No, it shouldn't hit the second one. I think it's too far.
Okay. All right, so they rolled a 16 on their dex save.
Yeah, they make it.
Okay, do they take half damage or?
No, they just don't take the damage.
Okay, all right. Connor, just before I come to those areas, it was the one that's to the right there,
Okay,
the
sorry.
furthest back,
Alright,
that
sorry.
was originally hit by
Thank you.
Vicario. So, Azaries, on to you.
Yes. Quick question about my javelins. If I wanted to take a swing at the hooded guys, well, fling at them.
It would be a disadvantage because it's more than 30 feet.
All right. So I'm just gonna smash this guy. He looks like Popeye. A little
Does he?
bit. A little bit, yeah.
All
Angry
right,
Popeye.
okay.
This one, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So I'm gonna take a swing at him with my axe.
Just a word of advice, Ailish, you might want to rage before you do.
Oh, I said I'm raging already.
did you?
You raged at
I
the start of
did.
the fight.
All right.
Yeah. When you start like roll initiative, I rage.
Hey, she knows how to play barbarian now.
Yeah. All right, I'm raging. Oh, that's a natural 20.
Hey.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and roll damage.
Sweet. But what happens there? I don't actually get any benefit
You-
there, right?
No, you roll all your damage die. The die you would roll for the damage normally, you just roll it twice.
Cool. Okay. It's one hand battle axe. That's a what now? D8.
Yeah, so just roll 2d8s.
Okay. Need to find my D8. I get confused. Zoop. It's a 4. That's 2, right? So I hit him with a 4, right? 4. 10.
10 points total, is it?
Yeah, 10 points, and then I get the Divine Fury as well.
Okay, you want to roll the radiant damage on that?
10 points. 4, 5, 6, so 16 in total.
16. Okay, you just raise your battle axe overhead and just smash it deep down onto the shoulder, and it just chops his entire arm off, and blood starts to spray out, and he just drops silently onto the floor.
Does it go all over Razix?
No, it was the right arm you hit, so it kind of sprays it. It
Oh.
misses Razix, unfortunately.
All
All right.
Why did you say oh?
Because it's fun. Then I will move to here ish. Wait,
Okay.
where's the pokey rock things?
They would stop.
Okay,
Yeah, you're at the edge of it there.
all
yes.
right, I'll be there on the pokey rock things. Cool.
All right, Kosh.
Greg, on roll 20, you can use the draw shape.
Yeah, I can never get the hang of it though to do it properly, so I'll just do it this way.
Alright.
Unless anyone wants to draw it for me whilst we're.
I'll
waiting.
do it, yeah.
All right, so Kosh.
I will back up next to Talora, and
Okay.
I will go ahead and just take a shot.
Okay, against who?
Craig, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it would be like that.
Something like that. Be a circle, but yeah.
It's 20 feet, right?
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. All right, Kosh, if you want to roll your attack.
Yeah, I'm gonna attack the one that I saw Vaquero hit with his spiritual weapon.
Okay.
That is probably not. That's a 10.
No, that misses, I'm afraid. So you just raise your gauntlet and fire a shot, but it just goes pinging overhead and smashes into the rock face behind.
Okay. I'm also just gonna go ahead and preemptively cast Zephyr Strike on myself. So I'm just gonna again and just watch everything slow down around me, kind of physically realign myself, and in my turn right there.
Okay. Razix.
Okay. I am going to just take an shillelagh imbued swing. I did forget to mention that I did give myself the pink dot of concentration.
Okay, sure, no problem.
Yeah, so I'm just going to take a swing with my shillelagh imbued.
Go ahead.
And I rolled a 21.
That hits, unsurprisingly.
Perfect. And, only 5 damage.
Okay, that'll do it though. She was blasted by Kosh's gauntlet just earlier, so you just swing back with your mace, and as you do, kind of it gets encrusted in all this bark. You just smash it straight into her head, and it just snaps around, and you hear a neck breaking as she just falls down onto the floor.
In that case, I'm going to move here,
Okay, and is that in your turn?
and that ends my turn.
All right, Kevros.
Alright. I'm going to swing at this goblin next to me to begin with.
Okay,
That is a 15 to hit.
that hits.
Alright. That is... again, 13 points of slashing damage.
All right.
4 and 5 all round.
Damn.
You just essentially swing back your great sword and let out all your sort of rage and frustration of being caged up, and just cleave it straight through, and it just pierces right down.
I'm pretty frustrated at the knives in his mitt.
And it just cleaves straight through his chest and essentially bisects his upper torso, and he
Alright.
just kind of mutely falls back.
And then I'm going to burn my action surge
Okay.
and look down at the knives sticking in my side and go, ugh, knives. I'm going to throw up my hand towards the hooded figure at the back who I've seen yelp out in pain. I'm
Yep.
going to cast Magic Missile.
Hey,
I'm going to give them 3
Alright.
projectiles of my own.
Sure.
What the-
Roll damage.
it took us 4 levels for someone to finally cast the best spell ever.
Does it
that
go?
is- No, it's like 3 like green and red fire darts just shoot
So, like-
towards them.
That never
Rather?
missed.
So the first 2 are a 3 and a 4, so that's 7. And the
Okay.
third one is another 4. That's 11 points of force damage.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, they're all
so-
+1, so that's 14 points of force damage.
Okay, nice.
Bloody hell.
All right. So as you just kind of raise your sword, all of a sudden these flaming darts just kind of arc out from behind you and just go flying off and smash into this hooded figure, and she just kind of is impacted by them and knocked back several times, but she's still standing.
Wait, doesn't she take damage if she's knocked back, or is she not?
She's,
Well,
not
no,
literally-
I-
she's against
I-
a wall anyway, so.
Yeah, I just mean
Uh,
she stumbles back. She doesn't move
fine.
5 feet back, unfortunately.
All right.
Damn it.
And I'm going to... Yeah, I'll use my second wind as my bonus action as well.
Okay, cool.
It's a D10 plus 4. Where's my D10? Oh, it's that bloody see-through D10 I've got. There we go. Okay, I rolled a 4, so that's 8 points of healing for me.
Okay, lovely.
Bloody hell.
All
When
right.
I see these missiles go off, I kind of look at my axe. I'm like,
Okay, Vicaru.
Bonus actions. I love them. With my... don't want to do that first. Yeah, I'll go ahead and use my Golden Sun and attack the hurt lady already.
Sure, go ahead.
That is a 14 plus 20.
That hits.
All right, she takes... Math is so hard. 5 damage.
5 damage. That's enough. So as you just swing back the sun as she's still recoiling from the darts that Kevros launched at her, she just suddenly gets hit just in the jaw by the sun, and there's a resounding dong as it happens, and she is flung back. And as she does, the ground suddenly erupts beneath her, and spikes just pierce through her, and she is impaled as she hits the ground. So, yeah.
Raz's
now-
sister's there.
And now I will move forward,
Okay.
and I will point at the other hooded figure and say, like, your time is up. Cast Toll the Dead as she hears coins go through her head. It's a wisdom save.
That's an 11 from me.
She fails.
Okay. She has taken damage as well.
Oh, she has. Ooh.
Yes.
Changes the die.
Mhm.
She takes 3 damage.
3 damage. Okay. All right. So yeah, just with those cutting words, she just can't comprehend what's happening and suffers damage. All right. So I believe she's the only one left. 2 seconds. Let me just check.
She should probably like run away.
She
Wait, she
can't.
can't. She has no
Oh.
good options.
Yeah, she is going to pull some daggers from her bandolier, and you can see she kind of grimaces towards you, Vikaru, and she's going to try and throw all 3 of them at you. So, first one, that's a 20, non-natural though.
Right.
Then an 18,
That hits.
then a natural 20.
Fudge.
All right. So
Can't
First of all-
wreck
you take
I'm afraid I'm not protection fighting style, sorry. Uh-oh, Craig's
Sorry.
gone quiet while he rolls.
sorry,
Mathing.
Lot of-
15 points of piercing damage.
That's fine.
It's all D4s, so I like a lot of counting. Okay, so yeah, she just suddenly throws off 3 daggers very in quick succession, and they just slam into you, Vikaru. And then she's going to stay where she is. And Tora, you're up.
All right, I'm going to look at the same person, so the top one, and I'm going to harness my cold energy and cast Ray of Frost.
Okay, I would say from where you are, you can't quite see her through the stalagmite.
Okay,
Yes.
so can I like move over?
Yeah,
and get a-
that's fine. That's fine. It's
Alright,
clear enough
I'll
shot
get a
there,
better
I'd say.
Yeah, all right.
Conveniently close to the gems as well.
Mm, shiny.
20.
That hits. Roll damage.
I do 2 cold damage, but I'm also going to invoke my Curse of the Sea on her. I forgot that I had this ability,
Okay.
and which means she has a movement of 15 now.
Okay. So now she can move even less across the
You
spiky
can move
ground.
7.5 feet.
Okay, I will give her the whirlpool of the Curse of the Sea.
Makes
All
sense.
right.
Yeah.
And
That's the
anything
end of
else,
my
Tora? Okay, Azares.
I'm going to not traverse the spiky ground and try and launch a javelin at this lady.
Go ahead. I would say you'd probably have to take just one step forward just to be able to get a clear shot.
All right, I will do that. 2 hit. That's a 15
That hits.
to hit, and then what's my javelin? So 1d6 plus 3. Blip. 7.
Okay.
Yes.
7 points of piercing damage, is it?
Yeah, and then the divine fury.
I just want to double check. Does Divine Fury only work on melee?
Oh wait,
I can't remember. Let me
no,
just
the
double
first
check.
creature you hit on each turn.
Yeah, sorry,
with
my
weapon
bad.
attack.
Yeah, it's just a weapon attack. Yeah, so go ahead and
Damn it.
roll that damage.
7 plus 4 is 11.
11. Okay.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Those javelins seem to work out better for Azares. So you just suddenly arc your arm back and just line up a shot and just launch this javelin like a missile, and it kind of glows radiantly and just smashes straight into her shoulder, and it kind of blows apart, and she just spins around before collapsing on him. So yeah.
And then I kind of look at Kevros and like, I can do fancy
Okay.
things too.
All right.
Seeing that there aren't any more hostiles,
Yeah.
at least at the moment, I will break concentration and
Okay.
the ground begins to return to normal.
Sure.
I will go fetch my javelin.
So yeah. Okay. Lovely stuff. All right.
And
Yeah.
we
So
move towards the gems.
okay. All right.
Shocking.
Shocking.
Is it just Vicario? Because you've all kind of when Vicario picked them up with his mage hand and then suddenly dropped them when kind of the battle started. It made kind of a noticeable tinkle, I will say. So you all kind of know they're there. Would anyone else like?
I'd be going over to the table and picking up a couple.
Yeah,
to have a look.
Okay.
I want to have a look.
I'll trust Vicario to handle that. I want to go look at the bodies. I want to
Okay.
figure out if I can find anything that identifies who these people are, or either of these people Yorman.
Yeah, I
Okay.
was specifically going to go look at the hooded figures.
Okay. All right. So first of all, Vicario, you find a total of 2 seconds. Hold on. 24 gems of varying colors and qualities, but they're uncut and unpolished. They're just raw gems that seem to be mined out of the ground. They haven't been worked in any fashion like that. And it's hard to say exactly right now, but you suspect they'd probably be worth quite a bit. So that was 24 gems.
Just to
And you
restate,
wanted to
I have picked up a couple of them to have a look at.
All right. Okay. So yeah, 20. Okay. So you've all kind of sifted through them then.
I pick up one that was probably nearby me because I was nearby the table during the fight, and I
Yeah.
look at it. I kind of brush it off, and I hand it to Vicario, since he's
Okay.
sitting there.
Vicario, are you
Picking
just
them all up.
are you gathering them all as many as you can? Or are you just kind of looking through them and
My plan was to take as many as I can.
Okay, sure. So, Kevros, I would say you kind of gathered like 2 or 3.
I'd take 4 of them if I realised there was 24.
Okay, sure. So
And I would say to Vicario, the rest of you can split them. These are mine. I take 4 of the nicer looking ones.
Okay.
The biggest
you
one.
want to add then 4 nice gems to your inventory.
Nice. I'm going to put nice in capital letters.
Mhm.
Lovely. Okay. So Vicario, yeah, there's 20 gems left
20
for you. You just wanted to scoop them all together and keep a hold of them for now. Sure. Okay. So Kosh and Razix, you guys were inspecting the bodies. Which bodies are you looking at? The hooded figure?
The hooded ones.
Okay. So why doesn't one of you make an investigation check with advantage then? Since you're kind of both looking through.
Go ahead, Gosh.
Yes. Okay. And I forget if I'm proficient in investigation or not. I am. Okay. 19.
19. Okay. So, first of all, looking through the bodies, you do find a total of 47 gold, split between the two of them. There's varying qualities of daggers. You can see all the kind of between the bandoliers that they're all wearing, they're of various different qualities and workmanships, but some of them that do stick out, a couple of them emblazoned just at the pommel of the daggers, have a symbol, and that's a symbol of House Dimir carved into the metal. And then also on one of them, you do find a small scrap of paper that just reads, "I've headed deeper, Yorman."
Okay. Are the Demir daggers nice?
They look quite nice, yeah. They look very sharp.
Okay, I'll just kind of say to Razix, do you care if I keep these daggers? I try not to use them, but sometimes I don't have a choice, and they're nicer than mine.
Not at all. I think a few of our comrades have taken a few of them to the chest, so they have some as well.
Yeah, you want to pull them out as well, yeah.
I'll leave them in there.
Steady, breathe in, breathe out. All right, on count of 3. No, I'll just... Also, I will... unless Razix objects, I will take the 47 gold and I will give 7 to everybody, and then because there's 5 left over, I will give Razix 3 and keep the 2 extra for myself.
Okay, so everyone add that to your inventory then.
Is that
Wait,
including
hold on.
me?
Did I get 3 gold out of this transaction?
No. You got 10. You got the most.
Oh, okay.
Is that including me locking that you're giving money?
Yeah. I give Kevros 7. So you fought with this, earned as much of the share as anyone.
You're not wrong.
Except Razix, apparently.
No, Razix earned 3 more because I didn't figure out how else to divide this. But if you can find a better way to divide 47 gold amongst 7 people, Ceres, I'd love to hear it.
Tic-tac-toe. I don't know. Never mind.
Anyway, we also found, or I believe Razix actually found, a letter that we were poring over. He's definitely here, and he's gone deeper.
Let's go get him then.
Agreed.
What are those? What are those
Hey,
gems?
Kevros, are you going to use
Any-
those daggers?
Oh, these ones. I'll pull
The
them
ones
out
that
of
are in
my
your
armor.
side?
Nah, not really my thing, mate. And I'll hold them out to you if you want them. I'm kind of holding them in one hand, like just one big hand. There you go.
So I would say, Kosh, it's just again a kind of motley of different daggers, various blade lengths and designs and that sort of thing. Some of them are more curved and some of them are just more pointed. But I will say there's none that bear the symbol of House Demir on the pommel.
None of the fancy they're not like fancy daggers.
They look nice daggers, but more practical than ornate, I would say.
How many of the Demir daggers do I have?
You gathered 3.
3? I'll keep one of the fancy daggers for a nice round 4, and I'll just toss the rest.
Okay. All right. Sure.
Before we carry on, I want to ask Kosh, those gems, are they of any importance for building anything that Master Embert might have in mind? Is there any significance to them barring being pretty?
Well, okay, so here's what I'll say. I know for sure that a lot of the more dangerous spells and incantations require much greater sacrifices through these gems. However, most of the devices aren't specifically powered by gems themselves. It's more just the magical essence that needs to go into items is very often tied to expensive gems, almost as like a sacrifice or a medium.
Oh, he's right. I often trade gems to traveling mages and that. They say similar.
All right. Well,
Kevros.
shall we go find a Yorman? Yes. Sorry, Karen.
Kevros,
Right?
I've never seen someone wield magic and have such good martial prowess. Where do you hail from?
In the belt, mate. You probably wouldn't have heard of it. But,
Probably not.
I will raise the Gruul, but certain abilities.
Strange. You don't strike me as a typical Gruul.
I don't really make my home with the rest of them. Don't get me wrong, I'm friendly with them and that, but I tend to make my own way.
More of a rubble-built recluse, you could say.
Something like that.
Should we get going? We need to find the Odin as quickly as possible.
I suppose we're still on a time frame.
Yeah. Not to rush us, but we should get going.
I imagine he's deeper in.
Yeah.
Well, let's carry on then.
How is it?
So are you guys heading to this sort of obviously carved stone tunnel that leads into another room?
Yes.
Yep.
So yeah, as you guys kind of pass through, you don't even need to kind of inspect or anything like that. Obviously, the stone has been mined and taken out either through just sheer force of people armed with picks or other means. It's hard to tell, but essentially it seems to have broken through a stone wall, and you can see this kind of brickwork and rubble strewn across the floor of this chamber that you now step into. And it's kind of lit by some burning torches towards a statue that's just in the far end of it in front of you. And then you can see off to the left there's a few seem to be more stone sarcophaguses, but they seem to have been broken off and the tops of them are exposed and things like that. Then there's a path off to your left, but it's almost immediately ends in just rubble. It looks like the tunnel may have collapsed at some point. There's another pathway off to your right.
What's this statue looking like?
Okay, is everyone looking at the statue? I assume you would be. It's kind of the
Yeah.
Why don't? Well, first of all, Razek, why don't you make a history check for me? And,
Cool.
and we'll see where we stand.
Here we go. Oh, good. Natural 1.
Woo! You also
Okay.
skipped history.
Razix is 3 years old. He has no idea what history is.
Okay. So the figure that it depicts seems to be, because you're all looking at it, but I will say it's a female figure of some sort. She's wearing kind of long flowing robes that look to have been quite thoroughly and expertly carved into this shape, and her hands are clasped by her waist, and her face kind of comes up, but then her expression looks, rather than just being sort of serene or solemn, it's almost an angry grimace. And the thing that you all kind of look at is her hair, which is unlike anything you've seen before. It's thick, almost like long braids, but it all kind of curves and curls up around her head in some fashion. But I would say it's even hard to place exactly what race this figure is.
Is there anything I recognize from folklore or anything?
Have I read anything about this?
Why don't you make a history check for me then, Kavros? But I would say, gosh, you would have no idea.
All right. Let me check my. That could be
Please
good.
roll better than me.
Let me check my history. Oh, +3. That's a unnatural 20.
Okay. Distant tales speak of an ancient race that once walked on Ravnica. Gorgons, they were known as. And it was said that they could turn a man to stone with their gaze, and that's what it seems to depict.
Does the hair, by any chance, resemble a nest of snakes?
Yes, upon closer inspection, you can see what at first struck you as odd about it. It does seem to end in small reptile faces.
Itty bitty snakes.
I just kind of nod to myself.
Okay. All right, so the rest of you don't know that.
Damn.
Fine.
Okay. So, what would you like to do now?
Keep going.
Keep moving, yeah.
Okay, the other path. Okay, just give me a second then. Okay, so the melody music starts playing. No, I'm just kidding. So you follow the path, or the stone tunnel, I should say, and it's relatively simple and unadorned. The walls and floor are made up of worked stone, and it's quite a low tunnel, but not too so low that you couldn't stand up straight as areas, I will say. The path is lined by torches, strangely, but the area has a sense of a place almost that's been undisturbed for a long time. But you can see along the floor there's the occasional footprint in the dust. And as you guys are kind of walking along for about a minute or so, you can see eventually leads to a simple door made of some sort of metal or iron, and it seems to be rusted. But you can see as you guys kind of approach and get a little bit closer, seems to be some sort of carving on the door itself.
What is this carving?
Okay,
So do any of us recognize it?
You get a little closer, and it doesn't seem to depict any image that you're familiar with, but it does seem to be it seems to be a skull of some sort of humanoid. Looks to be a human or an elf, and just kind of branching around the edges of it looks to be various ivies and flowers and petals and that sort of thing. It looks, quite nice actually, but it's quite expertly carved. But the door is quite rusted and old, I will say.
Looks very Razix to me.
Well,
Well, vines.
Thank you,
skulls.
Talora.
That's very insulting, and I insult him
No.
all the time. That's the biggest thing anyone in this group has
Vines and
ever said to
skulls.
him,
That
Talora.
screams Razix. Come
I'm
on.
gonna, when they're saying that, I'm gonna sort of kind of look over at Raz and say, "You are Golgari then?"
I've been Golgari for as long as I can remember.
All right. Fair enough.
No point standing on ceremony, shall we?
Try the door.
Yes.
Are you just going to whole hog it? As we say
Don't
in,
whole hog
As
it.
they say in North Shore, yes.
Yeah, don't whole hog it.
And that's a reference that won't make sense for a week.
Yeah. Time travelers.
So sorry. How are you opening the door? Are you just going to open it normally?
I'm going to try. Is it got a handle or is it
Yeah,
just?
it's got a handle. Yeah.
I'm going to try the handle.
Okay. So yeah, you kind of turn it, and there's a kind of screeching of the metal as it turns. It sounds quite rusted and old, but you kind of push it outwards and it swings, and there's a creak from the hinges until it exposes what looks to be a large chamber. So if you just give me a second. So it's this large open chamber with several stone columns that seem to support the ceiling. The center of the room is slightly lowered, and there's steps that sort of flank around the edges of this lowered portion where there seems to be another statue facing towards you of some sort of humanoid. You can see around the edges of the room there are various alcoves and carvings along the walls of various different urns and pots as well are kind of in the corners of the room. And there also seems to be busts representing the upper portions of humanoids, like Roman busts, that sort of thing. Just to your front left, is another door that seems to lead out. Looks to be another metal door. Then in front of you, directly opposite you on the other side of the room, is another door. And then to your right is another what looks to be collapsed portion of the tunnel where there's just sort of been a cave-in of some sorts where the stone has sort of broken off and tumbled into the room.
No people in there though.
Make a perception check if you'd like. to look for people.
People. No people. Oh dear, that's a natural one. Never mind.
It's fine. There's nothing in there.
Serious, what do you see?
You don't notice the 3 liches conspiring in the corner.
Serious, what do you see? Are we good to go in?
Looks like it.
I send my light forward in with the series as we walk in so I can see as well.
Okay, so you send it and it lights up the chamber much better now. There's again a few sort of torches off towards the back corners that again are strangely lit, I will say. It does strike you as a little bit odd that torches are lit in a place so deep underground. But yeah, you guys, it doesn't seem to reveal anything else.
Do we recognize any of these busts, or are they just like nondescript individuals?
Do you want to take a closer
I'd
look?
be going up and having a look at them.
Okay, so yeah. Okay, what about the rest of you? What are you all doing?
I mean, we might as well take a.
Are you all just kind of going into group?
If I see them do it, I'll go ahead and take a page
Okay.
out of the book.
We're at the museum. We're looking at all the stuff.
Yes, very
Okay,
good
yeah.
art style here. Yes.
Okay, so it doesn't really require a check, I will say. The figures that it depicts, the stonework looks kind of old and crumbling in some parts. That's that sort of common thing you see on Roman busts where the nose is kind of broken off on almost all of them. But the figures that it does depict are clearly elven. They have kind of the long pointed ears and a slightly more thinner and sallow features, I would say. But as to if you recognize any of them as identifiable individuals you may know, I would say no. No one recognizes.
Is there any writing or anything?
No, there's no sort of description of who they may or might have been beneath them. They're just simple on top of like kind of stone alcoves that kind of back up into the walls of the room.
Is there an exit?
Statue as well.
Yeah, so yeah, look, and there is 2 exits from the room. One was to your left and one to the opposite side. But I will say as well, before we come to the statue, Radix, we'll get to that. As you guys have been walking around the room, because these alcoves kind of branch around the edges, the written in looks to be fresh white paint beneath the door to your left is just quickly, looks to be quite frantically written, is just unpurged, it says. But
That
Radix,
sounds.
sorry, what were you going to say, as Aries? I interrupted you there.
No, I was just saying that sounds inviting.
I imagine I would have had no idea that this was here.
No, this is not something you have seen before. I would, Razix, although you've been in the Undersea before, this place has a feeling of being lost in time almost. It's like nothing you've seen before. The stonework and everything you're seeing here is just seems to be from an age long gone.
I'll turn to the party and be like, I know these lands and I've never heard of anything like this.
Yeah,
is
I've never even read about anything like this, and I've done a lot of reading.
Purged of what?
This place is creepy.
It is. Seems like a desecration of this place.
Ooh, that's a good theory. I think I agree.
Okay, Razix, for the statue.
I'm gonna scoff when Cash says that.
Okay. So, looking at the statue, and again, it seems to be very well carved, similar in nature to the statue you guys passed when you first came into this sort of area. And it depicts what you can't immediately tell if it's a human or an elf, but it's definitely a male figure. And it's depicted as wearing these kind of knee-high boots and a long coat that kind of drapes
Sorry.
down.
You okay?
Yeah.
All the drama and tension. And it depicts
We made
this-
it 9 sessions without knocking over microphones, and now we have 2.
Damn, right in the middle of the spooky temple, just a bunch of bats.
I had a jump scare, sorry.
All right, I'll start again. So the statue, yeah, it looks to be quite expertly carved and depicts either a human or an elf, but it's definitely male. It's wearing knee-high boots and this long carved coat that drapes down to its ankles, and the edges and shoulders of the coat are lightly frilled, and the collar of the coat as well comes up to the chin of the figure it depicts. And the figure as well is wearing this strange headpiece. It's conical and tall, and the sides of it come down past its ears, and you can see it's holding in its left hand this long glaive that's leaning against one shoulder, and it ends with this long curved blade. I would say that it definitely has a military appearance look to it. Definitely some sort of military figure, whoever is doing it. But I would say for all of you, it is not familiar.
He looks like quite the warrior.
I bet.
That hat,
Not
that
on
hat
these
doesn't look
lands.
very practical.
I've never seen anyone who looks anything like this around here.
Even with my time underground, I've never seen any place like this. This is very strange to me.
I don't know who these people are. And that's
I want to.
worrying.
I kind of want to keep moving. I don't like being here. Dawdling here, it's making me nervous. I feel like
Well, we have.
not that we're being watched, but just that
I
something's afoot, and I can't really put my finger on what.
It's unsettling. I'll give you that.
Let's be
Which
rid
way?
of this place. But we have to
Yes.
find your chap first.
Yeah, Yorman's here somewhere.
Who is
Left
this
or
Yorman?
right?
I've heard his name, but don't know what he's been doing.
We don't really know either. We know that he's been working with a few inspired individuals to ends we don't even fully understand yet. They took my mentor. They're responsible for 2 of our friends' deaths. Plenty more. They were behind the massacre in the market, if you happen to hear about that. I don't know how long you've been held down here.
I've only been here a week, but I haven't heard about a massacre.
They've been taking people against their will, having them do things, and then they snap out of it with no memory of who they are, who they were, or what they did. And Yorman is tied up in the middle of all this. He's not the mastermind, but he's definitely one of the people helping to pull strings.
I've seen my mates mining. Well, not my mates, but people who should be friendly mining, and I've never seen them snap out of it yet. I hope they can. Maybe if we put an end to him, it'll free those who are still enslaved up there.
We can only hope.
If Pelska don't kill them first, I heard the fighting.
Yeah. I don't think they would come towards the mines, though.
Oh, Pelska.
Well-
Yeah, they have a almost reverential fear of the mines, it sounds like.
Did you arrive with Pelska then?
Yeah. They were causing a distraction for us so we could find our friend Yeoman.
So you've met Gohorn.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
He's an interesting chap. He's
Yeah.
good though. I mean, you know,
He seems like a fair leader, so.
aye, that he is. He's alright.
I'll start walking towards the left door when we walked in, I guess.
The
The
one,
one that says unpurged.
yeah, that's the one that says unpurged. before it.
Maybe I shouldn't go that door. then.
Well, which door would you guys like? So you got the one opposite, which has no writing in front of it, and the one to the left, which has unpurged written before it.
Here's the thing. I think we actually should go to. I know this is crazy, and I have a bad track record with these things, but I think we really should go down the one that says unpurged.
I thought you were going to say we wanted to split the party again.
No, please, for the love of God, let's not do that.
No. But seriously though, I think there's a decent chance that we're gonna find Yorman in the middle of all this, at the worst of it, and it doesn't get much worse than unpurged and threatening messages on the wall.
Alright, it's not
I tend to
exactly the
agree
most-
with you.
Not the most comforting message, is it? I think you're right though.
Screw it, let's do it. I'm gonna open the door.
As long as the Ceres is in front of me.
All right. So again, I will say as you approach the door, it's the same sort of carving that you into the metalwork that you saw on the one that led into this chamber. It's again this skull with this kind of ivy and flower petals around it. And as you open, it illuminates, or the light from the room that you're in and the drift globe behind you and that sort of thing, illuminates kind of this another long stone tunnel. But outside of that, there seems to be no source of torchlight or anything like that, but running along the edges of this tunnel, you see the occasional sickly green glow from, and as you immediately identify this as some sort of fungus or mushroom that would generally grow underground.
Every time.
But I will say, these are harmless mushrooms that just give off a glow. They're not gonna, you immediately know that they're not gonna poison you if you touch them.
I'm gonna ask Raz, gonna be like, do we need to be careful of these?
These ones are actually very nice. Really, all they do is they glow.
Perfect.
Okay, so you guys all are you all stepping into this tunnel? And
I'd step in. Yeah.
Okay, sure. So as you all begin to make your way in, again, the walls and the roof and the floor is just essentially featureless stone work, really. It's kind of big slabs, and a few of them are kind of cracked and broken, but it's quite dusty. And I will say as well, as you kind of step in here, it might be your imagination, but it almost feels a little bit colder and chill. There's a sense of a chill in the air.
It's Calcrax.
Calcrax, yeah.
Another reference you'll get next week. So you guys keep walking along until you can see the corridor sharply turns around to the right, a sort of a 90-degree angle. And again, there's still this sort of sickly green glow illuminating the walls from all these different mushrooms and mosses that are growing.
Maybe I could take a peek around the corner and then just walk. Maybe they'll probably hear us coming anyway. We can just wing it. I'm sure it'll be fine. Never mind. I am gonna, however, make sure that the drift globe is about 5 feet in front of Viserys at all times, just so that nothing gets the drop on her or us.
Okay, sure. So is Ares, you still in the lead here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Still
and are you just gonna, are you gonna peek around the corner before you go around it, or?
I'm gonna maybe before we get to the corner, I'm gonna ask Talora, that invisibility trick you have. Do you mind taking a peek for us, quick?
Thing. I take a second. I cast invisibility on myself. I disappear, and I'm gonna slink towards the edge of the wall and try to look over, see if I can't see anything.
Okay, do you want to make a because I know you're invisible, but just see how quietly you can move. You want to make a stealth check for me?
Yeah, sure. 19.
Yes.
Okay, so
First time for
all of a sudden,
That's a good trick.
Talora just disappears from sight, and you don't even hear her move away. There's no signs of anything from her. And so, Talora, you kind of peer around this corner, start to move around it, and you can see pretty much just about 10 feet away, or not 10 feet, about 20 feet away from you is another metal door. Not a pair of metal doors that are just kind of rusted and old, and you can see illuminated from kind of the fungus around and the drift globe just still kind of reflecting off behind you. There are two what looks to be bodies lying in front. And
I do have dark vision.
You did dark vision? Okay, you can see that they look like these cloaked and hooded figures you've seen before. But I will say that their bodies are kind of stretched out and facing towards you, if that makes sense. Like they're lying on their stomachs with their heads pointed towards you.
And there's nothing else that I can discern besides the doors way at the end?
No, that's about it.
Interesting. Do I bother kind of going up and checking a little bit more? There's only the doors.
We're not there. So what are you doing?
I slink out of the side of the wall, and I just want to move up a little bit to just see if I can't see anything else. Make sure nothing else is going to jump out from the ceiling or the sides or anything like that. Anything I can see down the hall. Okay.
So yeah, you make your way a little bit further along, and no, it just seems to end. There's nothing on the roofs that looks like it could hide some hideous abomination that'll suddenly reach out and grab you. Nothing like that.
Okay. I go back to the party. And I'm not going to drop invisibility, but I'm going to start talking, which is going to be really weird.
Peace.
Okay, don't panic. It's just me, Talora.
I put the drift globe where I hear her voice.
Yeah.
It's 5 feet to the right.
I just figured I'd keep this up because I don't want to, waste the spell. There seems to be nothing down the hall besides a door. There's a couple bodies that are oddly pointed towards this end of the hallway, but it seems like there's nothing menacing, as of what I can see. I think we're free to pass for now.
All right. Let's move up then. I shall turn the corner.
Okay. So you all move forward and gradually make your way along. And are you just going to open the door? Are you want to do anything with the bodies, anything like that, or are you just going to open the door?
You know Zombieland where they say double tap? I want to kill him, but no, I won't touch it.
Okay.
It's not a stupid idea, to be fair.
Can I tempt anyone?
We're not desecrating bodies.
Can you
We're just making sure we're dead.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a fancy way to say desecrating the bodies.
Well, she can like shove them.
Yeah, that'll stop them if they're going to come back to life. Just shove them a little bit.
Make sure they're dead.
I don't think that's how resurrection magic works.
Okay, so I'm gonna walk by and I'm just gonna like boot one of them to see if I make sure they're not dead.
Okay. All of a sudden, no, I'm just kidding.
Dolores dies.
As you get closer, just give it a gentle kick. There's
This
something.
body actually kind of moves because technically you guys can't see me.
Oh yeah. You all of a sudden see the arm of the body twitch. I will say, as you do that and you get closer, you can see sort of where the end of the figure's jacket ends and its hand is. The flesh and the skin looks remarkably similar to that of Reg's when after his encounter.
We've seen this
but
before.
there is no movement from the body after you kick it.
Well,
That's not good.
No.
at least we know what we might be dealing with.
So don't get close to them.
What's that?
Our friend died in a similar fashion, trying to melee a wraith.
Alright.
Some sort of specter of some kind.
Sorry for your loss.
Just
Thanks.
be careful
Me
with
too.
your face. Anything spooky, just be careful.
Hit it from a distance. Use your fancy missile things. Let's see what's behind door number 1, huh?
Okay. So
Do you want me to open the door?
We're all kind of in the same vicinity, so
Yeah, they'll probably just see like our entire party.
Well, at least they won't see you coming through the door. They'll just think the door opened.
What if Aseres opens the door and then we send you in?
Well, then Aseres is standing at the door, so it doesn't matter.
Well, but what if you open the door? Okay, we're bickering. Fine.
anyway, I'm gonna open the door now. Get ready for whatever's behind it. Big door, right?
yeah, it's a double door. So you just wanted to certainly whoosh them open, essentially.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so you pushing the doors, and again, there's kind of a scrape of metal and rust as you kind of push them open, and they kind of squeal out. But it reveals another large room, and it seems to be a sort of T-shaped room. There's this main sort of central portion of the room that's slightly lowered into the floor, and it looks to be partially flooded as well. There's sort of ankle-deep still water, sort of a greenish tinge to it, and you can see there's 3 more bodies floating in the water, face down in the pool. And again, they're wearing the same hooded cloaks and long dark jackets of the other figures you've seen. And there's this kind of pathway that goes around the edges of the room and leads up staircases symmetrically into what looks to be smaller rooms that lead off the edge. And then in the center of the sort of flooded area of the pool is another sarcophagus, but it looks to be very old. It's moss covered and parts of the stonework are just crumbling away and degrading. And there's, again, it seems to be more of these mushrooms giving off this sickly green glow in the room.
I have a question, guys. Why are Yorman's supposed men lying dead all around?
That was the question I had as well. We might be heading in the wrong direction.
Now,
Would Yorman's...
opinion from me. I didn't see anyone heading down here before us. I was right by the entrance, so whatever killed him was already in there.
Vaquero, you're kind of an expert on this. Anything about this room setting you off right now? Your spidey sense tingling?
Vicar, why don't you make a history check just to see if there's anything you would recognize or understand?
Right, change that to religion.
Okay, yeah, that's fine as well, yeah.
Yay, 17.
17. You kind of remember back about any religious iconography you've seen, burial rites, anything like that, but this is beyond any records or history that you would know. This is a very ancient sort of form of burial, where it's sort of you can get the sense though that it is sort of like maybe a single well-known figure that was quite highly regarded and revered that has been given this sort of large chamber to themselves to rest in.
No, I don't remember. Was the door that had unpurged on it locked?
No. You guys just opened it normally.
Yeah, I'm definitely creeped out, but this is super old. Older than any of the books I've had to read.
Right.
I mean,
unpurged.
Maybe we are heading the wrong way, but he could also just be further in too, and this could just be men that he didn't have any more use for after he was done.
Possibly.
But
There
if
could
he's
be other
enslaving
things in
people to
here.
mine, surely you'd want to keep valuable resources in men.
Only
For
if
what
you
it's
valued.
worth.
Oh, go ahead, Vaquero.
Let me. I have to double check this thing. Note here. Okay, I don't. It's refusing to load. The note that we initially had that mentioned this person. He mentioned that he was supplying, like, bodies, right?
Do you mean the very first note you found with Meldon?
Yeah,
Undead,
I tried to load it.
Yorman's undead thralls was
Who
the
the
rest.
fuck is Meldon?
So I would just say, like, well, for what it's worth, he can use the corpses. He do recall that he did have undead thralls, so
Craig,
maybe he just didn't need to move them.
Talora.
if I go look at the body, can I tell how it died?
Sure. So
Ground mitt.
you
Face down.
they are face down in, but it is ankle deep water. It would be hard to sort of accidentally drown in it, I will say.
Talora would manage.
Laura, you have to, I will say, descend down this short flight of stone steps, and you'll have to actually walk into the water if you're happy doing that.
I'm invisible. It's fine.
Well,
Although I am going to switch.
Splash, splash, splash.
Splash, splash, splash.
I wonder where those puddles are from.
So you step down the stone staircase and take a closer look at the body, and again, similar to the ones outside and with Reg, it looks like the skin is like stretched and dried out and seems to have died in a similar manner. And that's the case with all three of them if you're going to look.
Are there any other exits, or is this like the...
There's two stone staircases either side of the room that seem to lead up to be small chambers, but there doesn't seem to be any other doorways or exits out of this room. This pathway seems to end here.
Guys,
Okay.
what if, clearly, judging by all these statues and these monuments, and could this be another burial that they've disturbed, and therefore a thing like you guys fought is running around killing his dudes? His guys?
It's very likely.
By now.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of with Vaquero. Wouldn't it have like attacked us by now? We've been in here and
Well, depending on if he's followed him or if he killed it, who God knows.
Maybe it might have went deeper as well.
Well,
I mean,
I'm just throwing out ideas here. We might not be the only ones here, and he might not be either.
we can't go any deeper here, right? So the only
well,
place
we
to go
we
is
could
back.
go up the stairs.
Yeah.
If you want to take a look, and then
If-
go back.
If you think there's anything here, going upstairs I think is the best way to run into it.
Well, we gotta keep going. We can't leave.
I don't see any reason to walk upstairs. Yorman's not in this room, and if there's something here, it's upstairs. I'm staying
But
downstairs.
his thralls are here.
Who cares? We kill him. They're. Whew.
No,
I
but
wanna
I'm
go
just saying.
back.
I'm just saying, if his thralls are here, chances are he may have come this way with his thralls.
But there's no more exits. The rooms upstairs are just gonna be like small side rooms with more sarcophagi, probably.
We don't know that though.
I'm like, like I said, I'll stay down here. This seems like a bad idea. There's no way he's up there. We would have heard him.
I want to listen for
Wait,
anything else in here.
Talora's invisible. She can just go look, and then the rest of us will hang back here.
Okay, Azares, why don't you make a perception check for me?
All right. Oh God, that's an 8.
An 8. You kind of cock your head and listen out, and you almost feel like there's a sound of the wind, strangely, deep below here, almost like something whispering past your ears. It just sort of brushes past the fur around your head.
It's not Talora, right?
No.
Stop touching my ears, Talora.
Down here. Don't worry.
There is something in here. I don't like it.
And it's not Yorman.
Yeah, but if we're not correct and we leave and Yorman's not here, A, we're wasting a bunch of time, and B, we're going to miss him and not.
Well, we can just come back here if he's okay. Do you
we
think
don't have
he's,
that
like...
time?
Okay, I will say at this point, you've all been kind of just staring around the room, and I would say Azaries. In a corner at the far end of the room, there's a heavy amount of kind of darkness where the mushrooms kind of illuminate a portion, and there's kind of thick shadow there, but you almost seem to see something, some sort of robed figure, I guess I would say, flicker between the shadows and then suddenly disappear.
There's something in here.
Yep. All right, Kosh was right again. Who would have thought?
I want to kill it.
Unless
it's Yorman.
At this point, you hear a voice whisper out, and it all kind of sends a chill up your spine, and it says, "You bring the taint of the living to this place."
Creepy.
Wow.
Yep, we were just leaving. Yep,
right, reveal yourself.
Nope, don't care. We're leaving.
Okay, so Kosh, what are you doing? Are you starting to back out the room?
Yep. And I'm trying...
I'm inclined to join.
Okay, so Vikaru, Kosh started back out. Kevros, what are you doing? You sort of...
I'm just sword in hand looking towards them. Like,
okay.
Wherever the noise came from, that is.
Okay, I will say, Kosh and Vikaru, as you begin to make your way towards the exit, the door suddenly slams closed in your face, and you hear the voice again whisper out to all of you, "You have made your choice." And I would like you all to roll initiative.
All right.
Yay! I start raging.
Okay. All right.
So I'm in the water.
Oh, this looks like a nice place.
Yeah, so you guys are in the far end of the room, but I will say as well, you've heard this voice, but you can't see anything.
Wait, where are we sitting?
You guys are towards the right end of the room here. You see where I'm pinning?
Okay. Right.
All right.
Ooh, corpses.
Howyer than you cheeky wee ghost bastard.
Let me just...
Oops, I accidentally just drew a square on myself. How do I get rid of my square?
Craig, can I give myself the boot of invisibility?
Yeah, sure.
Invisible?
I'm sorry, let
I
me
think
just
that's
add
a
all
snail
your
spell, actually.
Oh, okay, sorry. Let me correct that.
There we go. You guys should be able to add your turns now. And I'm going to keep this thing's turns hidden for now.
Rolled a whopping 10.
Alright, Talora now has the snail of invisibility, as God intended.
Not the radiation symbol.
Nope.
Had to be the snail.
Okay, have you all put your initiative in? Gosh, Kevros, I'm still missing.
Sorry, I didn't type mine in.
Yeah, sometimes it can be a bit funny and
it's quite weird, isn't it? Yeah. I just hadn't clicked on it.
It's because you can't have more than one person put it in at a time, or else it freaks out.
Wait, really? Wow,
Yeah.
that's so
Okay.
bug.
All right. Kosh, I assume, has more dexterity than Talora. So, Kosh, you're first. What would you like to do?
So I see the door slam in my face. I'll say, couldn't have just left, could we? Oh, God. And I look around. Do I see this thing?
Make
I
a
don't,
perception
right?
check. Make a perception check.
9.
No, looking around the room, there's a sense of a presence now that sort of revealed itself to you, but you can't see anything. So what would you like to do?
I will hold my action until I see this thing or any perceived enemy appear.
Sure, yeah, that's fine. Well, what would you like to hold your action to be?
Sorry, I should be
To
more
fire your
specific.
gauntlet?
I'd like to fire my gauntlet at the first
Okay.
perceived enemy
Alright,
to
okay.
appear.
And do you want to move at all?
Nah, I'm happy where I am.
Okay. All right. Talora.
I'm going to do similar to Kosh. I'm going to ready up a Ray of Frost as an action to anything that seems
Sure.
hostile.
No problem.
And I'm not going to move because
You're not going to move? Okay.
I'm in the water, so I'm I'm invisible, but not if I move.
Okay. Kevros?
Alright. I'm going to... Oh... Is it cheeky to be like, can I see anything?
You can make a perception check.
Alright. That's not gonna be great. That's an 11.
No, I just stare quickly about the room. There, you can't see any identifiable figures other than
this water's just like it's like ankle deep, right?
Yeah, it's not that deep. Yeah, you can step into it and move freely, no problem.
I'm gonna run up past Talora and just yell again, like, "Reveal yourself!" and sweep my sword around the room. Okay,
sure. So sort of blade storm, I guess, just sort of swing it around you, see if you can.
More just like a gesture, you know, like swooping in front of me.
Okay, sure.
And, I'll just ready myself. Can I hold my action?
Sure.
Okay, if something appears, I would like to immediately cast Magic Missile at it.
Okay.
He's gonna get fucking blasted as soon as he gets...
Maybe this wasn't a good idea. Alright, Vikaru.
How exactly is the door attached to the walls?
Fuck. Just simple metal hinges into the stonework.
Cool. I'm gonna cast Reduce.
Okay, on the door, I assume.
Yep.
All right. Okay, go ahead. So that's not a roll, nothing like that. So the door, it just halves in size, does it? All
yep.
Right. Look at that. So the door suddenly shrinks to half its size before falling. The two doors just sort of fall down together, and there's a puff of dust as they clank onto the ground.
Oh man.
So what would you like to do now?
I'm going to announce to everyone, let's leave. Start walking.
Okay. So, yeah, Razix, you get a turn as well. So what would you like to do?
Let's leave. Wow. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go the other direction, and something like this, and I'm gonna ready an action to cast Fairy Fire if I see something.
Okay, like it. I like it a lot.
That's a good one.
Azaries, before we come to you,
Yeah.
if you'll give me all a moment.
Oh dear.
So all of a sudden, next to you, Razix, and I will say this quite deliberately, seems to almost step out of the shadows of the pillar behind you, and you can all see. Give me a moment, and you should be able to see it. There we go.
Ooh.
Great.
This almost shimmering image of a large cloaked apparition just rises from the stonework and out of the floor, and you can see it has this brown flowing cloak that covers most of its form. And I will say one thing that seems very strange about it, despite it being this floating apparition in a robe, it has more than two arms. In fact, several branch out and stick out of its robes at odd angles, and you can see from the arms that stick out, the flesh starts initially towards its upper sort of biceps as kind of a pale grey that gradually changes into just a deep black before its hands end in these long hooked claws. And you can see in kind of the deep recesses of the hood are these two small pinpricks of blue light. And now I know you all have things prepared, but before that happens, I would like all of you to make, for me, a dexterity saving throw.
Oof.
Christ.
Does my danger sense work? Because
yes, you can.
have advantage.
So I will give you that. So if I could just have it, let's start with Razix. What did you roll?
Ooh, unnatural 20.
Okay, that's a pass. So remember that. Azaries.
I rolled a 19 and 8. So I'll take the 19.
Okay, that's a pass. Kosh.
8.
That's a fail. Talora.
I got a 5.
That's a fail.
You are great.
Kevros.
11.
Okay, that's a fail. And Vikaru.
Does that affect me? I'm like 15. There's
Yep,
no more.
it will still get you. Don't worry. Well, worry.
Worry.
Don't worry. The least legit thing a DM can say.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was the save?
Dex save.
Dex save. So that is 18.
Okay, so that's a pass. All of you who save, nothing happens. However, all of you who failed, you take. Give me a second.
He's rolling more dice.
Oh dear.
Nice.
You ever like it when you hear your DM go, oh.
Yeah, no.
Nice. He's still rolling.
Yeah, why?
Good lord.
Okay, you all take 31 points of necrotic damage. Those of you who failed. Because all of a
31
sudden,
points.
yes.
Out like a light.
I'm
Oh,
down
I'm
as well.
done. Yeah.
All of you, as this figure kind of steps from the shadows, these seemingly ethereal long arms stretch off from it as it kind of arcs back, and these all make contact with some of you, but some of you kind of duck out and dodge out of the way as it touches your skin. But those of you who it does kind of clamp onto and make contact feel this deep chill run through your bodies as you just essentially begin to feel your life draining from you. So who's down?
I'm down.
Do I even get my action? Do I even get my reaction as this happens?
You if you don't die or if you don't fall down, you will get your action. But if you do fall, you will not get your action.
Yeah. Down.
So who's left?
Everyone that got hit by that went down, basically.
Yeah, that was nuts. Holy shit.
Literally everyone who got hit by it went down.
So first of all, Razix, what was your prepared reaction then?
It was fairy fire. I was going to cast it to try to
shoot. Everyone, I believe, as Ares, did you? No, we didn't get to you.
You didn't got to me yet.
Bakaru ran out the door. Okay, so I will give him the.
Oh my god!
I'll give him the.
He has to make a dex save.
Oh, he has to make a dex save. My bad. Okay.
And if he fails, he
rolled an 11.
That is a fail. So he gets a green outline.
Okay. So I've given him the castle tower of fairy fire.
Okay, perfect.
All right, so I believe that's it then. As Ares, what would you like to do?
Holy shit!
I'll also give myself the pink dot of concentration.
Wacko, man.
Holy shit!
Holy Bakaru comes back.
I really hope I live so I can get the most righteous "I told you so" of my entire life.
Dude, we were already in the room. You probably would have locked us in anyway.
Vicari, what is your heal spell thing? How does it work again?
So for the context, I guess it heals a D4 plus my wisdom mod or plus my charisma mod.
Can you do that to how many people?
Technically it's one, but because I'm a sweet sorcerer, I can do it to 2 people.
Okay.
Okay, as Ares, what would you like to do? What would Ares do? This thing, it's swiped out and gotten most of her friends. You can see they all kind of fall down. And what would you like to do?
Shit. I would like to move to it and battle axe it.
Sure, go ahead.
Holy
It's
shit!
very a Ceres thing to do.
Yes.
And you will have advantage because it's fairy fired, correct?
Yeah.
All right, so you get to roll with advantage here.
And if I have advantage, then I can knock it down with fell-handed, right?
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
Knock
So I
down a
get
ghost.
so I get to roll twice, right?
Yes.
To try and hit. Please hit. Please hit. Please hit. That is. Wait, what do I add to it? My axe weapon thingy.
Yeah, so it's
Your attack modifier.
plus 5.
19.
That hits. So if you want to roll damage.
Well, she might get 20.
Well, I need to roll the other one for.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. I've still picked it up.
Crit.
23.
Yeah, that also hits. So it's not
Okay.
prone. It can be prone. Surprising.
Wow.
I will
Really?
say, yes.
That's
I
very
don't know.
It is not immune to prone.
Okay.
weird.
Battle axe 1d8 plus 3. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Okay.
And then I get the Divine Fury as well.
Yes.
13. 7. So 20.
Okay. That's enough.
Does that kill it?
Yes. So you swing back your axe and it glows with its radiant light, and as it does, it exposes this form beneath the robes it's this horrifying face with this kind of it looks like a skull that's been broken apart and shaped in strange ways, and it has this large toothy maw beneath the hood of its robe, and as you swing forward, it kind of just as soon as your axe touches it, it just suddenly breaks apart, and you hear this kind of resonating ethereal scream throughout the whole room you're in, and it kind of echoes off the walls. But that seems to have done it, and it fades away, and just smoke dissipates, and that's it.
I run to my fallen comrades and I give them healing potions.
I
Alright,
want to
so-
say, I don't want to be that guy, but like, are me and Kevros like drowning?
Nah, it is ankle deep, and I wouldn't be that cruel to
Ankle
do
deep.
that. So
Yeah, they're
I
about
would,
to bring us up anyway.
I would say there's kind of enough time. So
My
Razix,
ankles
you're
are very close to the floor.
so Razix, you're going to Kevros. Where
Yeah, I'm gonna
Okay,
cast.
Azaris, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna go down
'Cause
to
you can all do
Laura.
it. Okay, and then
Yeah,
Vicari,
I'm gonna go
would
get
you
her
be
up.
kind enough to get conscious?
Come back here, you
Okay, so
chicken shit.
Razix, what are you doing?
I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds first level.
Okay, sure, go ahead. I'm gonna turn off this fight music as well.
Ooh, 7 plus 3 is 10.
Okay,
Is that on me?
That is on you.
Alright, I'm gonna get up to my feet and be like, oh, cheers, mate. Oh, that was unpleasant.
I don't know what that was, but killing,
It hurt.
knocking 3 people down at once is
You're giving me
Definitely.
potion, Alias?
Yeah, I gave you a healing potion.
the scariest thing I've ever seen.
okay, and Vicari,
I
what are
barely
you doing?
saw it.
I mean,
Do you just want to try and stabilize him, or do you want to use some sort of healing if you have any?
Kosh is the only one left down, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll cast Spare the Dying.
Okay.
So he's still unconscious, but he's stable.
Craig,
Okay.
while these guys are stabilizing and everything, just so you know, I'm gonna have a look at the bodies in here, the robed figures, and kind of turn them over with my sword and poke around them and see if they've got any obvious sort of communications or something on. As I'm growing
Sorry,
increasingly.
can I just ask by robot figures? Do you mean the kind of apparition?
No,
Apparition is
sorry, the drowned people.
Oh right, okay, all right. So
As I'm growing increasingly concerned about what's going on here.
okay, so you poke through all the bodies and you come across what would be. Hold on, let me check. 55 gold pieces, and then there's nothing else really of interest apart from again just a dagger through each of their belts and a small rapier. But on 2 of them, you find these large metal discs that are emblazoned with the symbol of House Demir, and even just grasping them, you can tell there's some sort of magic within them.
Well, I'm gonna hand one to whoever's near me and keep the other one for myself and have a look at it.
Okay, sure. Okay. So I will just say now, probably, as you're all sort of coming back up and, well, apart from Kosh,
Yeah.
as you all kind of catch your breath and regain consciousness, that sort of thing, we'll go ahead and end it here as a good place. So how about that, eh?
I thought you were gonna kill all of us.
I was waiting for
As a
everyone to
reaction,
fail,
I would like to
everyone
magic
die.
missile the
I was
DM,
kind of,
please.
really hoping that was a glass cannon. I was like, please, just
Yeah,
die.
that was it's a very tough enemy that I lowered quite a bit, but I kept the damage the same. But yeah, that thing
Yeah,
is
no
pretty-
shit. Jesus.
I hope you guys enjoyed that. I thought that was a
Oy.
spooky episode.
It was fun. I like being able to fire magic missiles and smash people's heads in.
Kept us
All
on
right.
feet there.
Pretty effective.
Lovely. All right, yeah, so we'll go ahead and end it here then, guys. So thanks very much for watching. If you did tune in late, you can always catch the rest when it's uploaded onto YouTube tomorrow. And just as a final reminder, we won't be live next week with another episode. It won't be until the week after. So 2 weeks' time, there'll be another Guildgates and Goblins. However, we will be showing off the bonus campaign, which will be uploaded to Merchant's YouTube. So make sure you subscribe to that so you can check it out. But there's nothing else, I think. So yeah.
Smash that like button.
Yeah, don't
Thanks for
forget to like
watching.
and subscribe. All right, bye-bye.